because it's Thursday.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You're a ghost. I can't see you.
What? Can you see me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, I see you creeping up there.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Hello, fellow babies.
So here we are.
Welcome. Welcome. You know what you should do? You should play that clip, Chris.
I should find. Yeah, I did email.
You should just
it to
play that
myself.
clip right now.
Yeah. Well, why don't you do the bit on the talk shows, Kevin, where people talk about what we're going to watch?
Oh, well, welcome to Japanese Knife 101. This is where Chris Lord and I'm Kevin Kent from Knifewear. This is where we get together and answer questions that you might have, help you find a knife, talk about things that we're up to in the news, play videos that you've got queued up, Chris.
I do have one. Yeah.
Anyway, I think today our topic is, and our guest is, no, we don't have a guest. Our topic is, what is our topic again? What's your first Japanese knife? I meant to go and get mine and I didn't. Anyway, the topic's what's your first Japanese knife? And it's also a great time to ask us any questions.
Yep.
That's the thing. Ask us questions now and we'll get to all of them. And Chris, have you got that video? You should just run that video.
So this is a first, I've never really, I guess I'll just share the screen. There we go.
I don't know.
Application, no. I don't know, Chrome tab. There we go, share that.
I have no idea, Chris. You're the man.
Just share the screen. There we go. Do you see it?
What do you think of my long, no, I don't see anything.
I don't know.
Well, I guess we're not going to show you the clip. It's too bad. It's a great clip.
It's a funny clip, and it seems like this is a
hard time.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't clip. It didn't go up.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought I did it, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I screwed up again.
You know, it's kind of a Chris Lord thing.
It's kind of what you do. You know, you ask me to do some tech stuff, and I tried it, and it didn't work, and we'll just never talk about it again.
Is there anything going on in your life that's interesting, Chris?
Well, these days we are. You were doing a percentage. You know, what was? Where are we now?
What are you talking about? Oh, we're halfway. Chris, we're halfway.
We're halfway there. So Kevin and I have been doing the Operation Come Home $24 challenge. And what that means is that so Operation Come Home is a charity that we work with here in Ottawa. We donate a fair sum of money to them through our sharpening here in the Ottawa store. Every Knifewear in Kent of Inglewood has a charity partner that we work with. So in Ottawa, we've got Operation Come Home. In the Calgary and Edmonton stores, we work with the Alberta Autism Services. And then in Vancouver, we work with a group called Soul Food. And they've all got their own, like Soul Food is, you know, they take urban space, they teach people how to farm, they harvest organic vegetables and sell them to restaurants and hotels and such. I think Alberta Autism Services, that's pretty straightforward. You know, there's a lot of people who would benefit.
It says on the tin.
Yeah. So, and then Operation Come Home is a group that they help out at-risk youth is the term that they use. But for the layman, it's kids on the street, right? Young people on the street. They'll help anyone. I think that the cutoff age to go into the drop-in is somewhere around, it's 25. I should probably know the actual age, but I didn't study for that test today. So
you sound like you're having a hard time concentrating. What's going on?
I am. So Kevin and I are taking part in their $24 challenge. And the $24 challenge is, well, it's kind of, we've got $24 to spend on groceries for the next week.
And why is that? It's because one of their placements recently, they were helping her budget, and at the end of paying, you know, bus pass and rent and bills and everything, this person had $24 left to buy food per week. which is frankly impossible, Chris.
Yeah.
So
So
we're trying.
yeah, so we're kind of, and you know what? It's not. This part's important. Kevin and I understand that we are, even with this this caveat of $24, we are still better off than most, right? We've got fully equipped kitchens. We've got the know-how on how to feed ourselves using cheaper ingredients, and to give ourselves something healthy. We've got, we're not, we're financially secure otherwise, right? So we don't this is an inconvenience for us, and we're doing it to raise a bit of money and to kind of spread some awareness for this awesome charity that I work with quite a bit.
You're on the board of directors.
I'm on the board of directors, and I'm at Elspeth's beck and call generally. Elspeth says jump, and I ask how high. So, but we're at a pretty substantial number, each of us. And a lot of it has to do with a lot of the people watching the videos. There's been a ton of support from everyone who watches our live streams.
Yeah, so we're raising funds. Maybe you can throw the link up there.
Yep.
We're raising money for Operation Come Home. We're not pretending that we're homeless. We're not pretending we're, impoverished. Although being chefs, we've all lived very close to the line. The difference is when I was a chef, I could also eat at work. So it wasn't, I never really had this because I was always, there was actually times when I was unemployed. So it could have been tighter, but we always had this opportunity to eat at work, right? But not this year, not for this challenge. So, Chris, I gotta brag. I got two things that were really good today. One, I've got an A&W coupon for a free coffee, no purchase required, free coffee. Nice. And I've got here in my hand another free coffee. There's a coffee shop in my neighborhood called Higher Ground. And they've got two in my neighborhood, like one here and then one down the hill from where I live. And they're giving away a free drip coffee every day until the end of the week. If you show up, because they just want to say thanks for supporting us through all these lockdowns and everything. And I think they're trying to drum up a little bit of business to get people back into the idea of going to a coffee shop. But I took them up on it today, and I got a free coffee. And then tomorrow I'm going to get my A&W coffee. This coffee I let it get cold, but now I've reheated it and put it in a mug, so I feel like a real. Chris, feels real. Feels real.
So Alex and I. So Alex is the assistant manager of the store here in Ottawa. He's also doing the challenge, and he and I made it. We went shopping together. I don't know. You might have seen it on Instagram if you were paying attention to that on Sunday. We did a little bit of while we were doing our shopping. We popped in. And yeah, you know what, Dr. G, I think I have lost weight. A couple shirts fit me a little bit better than they did before. So what Alex and I did our shopping, we both went the similar route of kind of beans and rice, kind of stock up on something we know is going to fill us up and it's more or less healthy. Might not be my first choice, but so I've been eating the exact same thing every time I get hungry. So I've been eating a little packet of peaches and cream oatmeal in the morning, which one little packet, and you're only supposed to put a third of a cup of water in it. It's like nothing. There's it's a tease is really what it is.
That's not food.
No, well, because I remember I used to buy this, I've got one of my daughter is super picky, and you can't just give her a bowl of cereal or a piece of toast. She's a real pain in the ass, to be honest. And so you'd have to give she wants something different than what everyone else is eating every time there's a meal. So I was giving her oatmeal for a while because I thought I was punishing her, but she seemed to like it. But I'd give her 2 packs, and then I'd make it for myself. I'd eat 3 of the damn things. So one of them is just not really doing it. And then I've been eating the same beans and rice with some braised chicken drumsticks in it for my other meals. I've already had it once today. I'll have it again for supper tonight.
How are you feeling about that? Because I'm really bored of the food I'm eating. because I've got different food than you, and I've kind of got it all in ingredients. So I've got this is my day's worth of ingredients, and I can combine them any way I like.
Yeah.
And like yesterday was cabbage and macaroni noodles fried up with a bit of chicken meat.
Yeah.
Half packet of instant noodle ramen powder on for Sydney.
Yeah, it's almost like we're living like it's almost
that one was shockingly good, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I made French onion soup with the broth too. The French onion soup I had for breakfast today, and I can have another one tomorrow. I've got another portion left, and that was really good. Because I bought onions.
I've still got $1.80. I've still got $1.80 left, and there's a dollar store between my house and here.
If you took back 3 cans, you can get 15 cents. Be bumped up to $2.
You can't do that here. They don't take cans back here.
What?
Yeah.
You just throw them in the river?
No, you put them in the recycling. I don't know if you do send beer cans back. I've never done it once in my life. I know bottles you can bring back, but I didn't have any beer to like. I didn't have. I'd have to go picking. I don't want to take those away from someone else.
No, fair enough.
So, but yeah, so I've just been eating the same thing over and over again. And like even today, like, so I had a discussion with Alex this morning. Alex has been, that's funny, Sean.
Sean Coots, you're fired.
Yeah, well, here we go. That's why Sean Coots got fired, everybody.
Sean Coots got fired because he says you're looking like a healthy Axl Rose with that hair and clean shave. You're fired. There's 2 reasons you get fired at Knifewear. You can say I look like Axl Rose.
Yeah.
Or you can play Bare Naked Ladies.
That's true. But if you play the Bare Naked Ladies,
well, there's a caveat. Maybe you tell them.
The caveat is if one of them is in the store, one of the members of the band is in the store, you're allowed to play the Bare Naked Ladies. But the scariest part about playing the Bare Naked Ladies is that if they're playing and Kevin walks through the front door, it's not the person who turned it on who gets fired. It's the closest person to him when he notices what's on the stereo.
Yep.
So it's a dangerous game. It's not worth it. I don't care how much you like Lovers in a Dangerous Time. Not worth it.
It was because I came into the store once and they were somebody was playing the Bare Naked Ladies kids album.
That's about or Sean says or Beatles at the Christmas party like he did, double fired.
Did he play Beatles at the Christmas party?
I don't know. I can't remember much.
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
Makes sense.
What was I talking about? I was saying that on my way home, I think I might go to the dollar store and get myself a bag of chips or something. Because Thursdays are for D&D.
Because I've got $1 and like literally, I think it's $1.10 or 15 left. Right, I got nothing.
Yeah.
But they got $1 sleeve of cookies at the Dollarama.
Did you already eat your other cookies?
Well, I got a sleeve of those.
They're like wafer ones, aren't they?
Ones with the hydrogenated vegetable oil whipped up in the middle of them.
Oh yeah, my grandpa.
Or some kind of palm oil or something. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And I was allowed 2 or 3 a day of those for the week.
Yeah.
But right now, I've already eaten them for the day.
Yeah, that's the worst. You get to the end of the
early,
day,
right? Like I got excited. And there's a hockey game on tonight, and
you just want to eat your wafers and watch your hockey game.
Just want to eat a wafer and drink a cup of hot milk.
Yeah.
I don't have even hot milk. I'd have hot water.
Yeah, I don't even know. I usually say Thursdays are my drinking day. I'll have a couple drinks. I'll play my D&D with my friends, eat some snacks. I'm just gonna sit there and not be chemically assisted in playing pretend. It's harder that way. Yeah.
Dr. G's, how's the hare hunting going? You know what? Okay. My area has a ton of urban hares that live in it. You know, like the big jackrabbits. I don't know if you get them out in Ontario, but they change color. They become white in the winter and they're gray and brown in the summer. And I've eaten a lot of these and cooked a lot when I was living in England. I've cooked a lot of hare, and I look at them and I go, because they're delicious, right? And then I found out there's really no laws against catching them because they're kind of classified like mice, right?
Oh, really? They're like a pest.
They're a pest. So if I was hunting them anywhere in Alberta, like with a gun, there's no season for them. You can shoot them anytime you like.
Oh, wow.
Right? So you can shoot them whenever you want. Boom, you see a hair, boom, shoot it. Now I can't discharge a firearm in the city. So that'd be bad. And I'm terrible with the slingshot. Although, although I know somebody, all the urban, because I started talking about this, Chris, and all the urban hunters started coming out of the woodwork, private messaging me on Twitter. Guy says, I got a squirrel trap. I usually get one or two if I put it out, and I've got a squirrel making a nest in my garage, so I could put it out and get you a couple squirrels, which I also like. Okay. And he said my neighbor's been slingshotting hares in the back alley for years, and then I thought, well, what about a snare? But then somebody wised me up, and they said you can't do a snare. What if you catch your cat or your neighbor's cat or a skunk? And I was like, oh, right, yes, snares are bad. They're indiscriminate, right?
Yeah.
I'm back to the problem is I'm back to the position of I don't know what urban squirrels have been eating, and I don't know what urban hares have been eating. I live beside a golf course, which means there's lots of beautiful green grass, which means they probably put crap loads of chemicals on it.
For sure. Yeah, I did. So there used to be this kind of foodie event that happened in Ottawa. It was called, we called them Cobra dinners. And they were put on by, okay, cool. So you know what I'm talking about. So Mark Lapine, who's the chef over at Atelier, he was the kind of the driving force behind these. Him and a couple, I think Trish Larkin had something to do with it too. But they would get a group of cooks. You'd do like a private dinner in somebody's house, and if you wanted to attend it, you'd have to kind of know where to send an email. And it was all very cloak and dagger. It was a lot of fun. So you'd send an email to wherever, and then you may or may, it's kind of like a lottery. You'd get an invite. You'd be told, just show up at a certain place and look for the guy with the yellow umbrella or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
But when I was still working at the gastropub, before I opened up Union, I did one of these. I was invited to cook at one. And the big thing about it was everyone was cooking stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to sell in a restaurant, right? So I really wanted to do squirrel because I had all these recipes, I paid a lot of attention to what Hugh Fernley Whittingstall did or what Fergus Henderson did.
Good old Hugh.
Or even I had a bunch of cookbooks from my mother's side of the family, from in Newfoundland, and there was recipes for braised squirrel and whatnot in there. And in the South as well. A lot of older Southern books have recipes for squirrels and turtles and things like that. But so
you mean cooter? Cooter, don't you mean?
That's I was trying not to say that. So
why?
Because it gets people excited.
Oh, is it a bad thing to say? Should I not say that?
Not no. It's just a funny word. So hey Megan, there's a fella at the door. He's being very polite and waiting.
That's nice.
But we've so I wanted to do this thing with the squirrels, and I had kind of arranged it with my father-in-law at the time. I had just said hey, look, I want to get a bunch of squirrels. I need to cook them. Can we go hunting for squirrels? And he's like, yeah, sure, we can. Let's go out and whatnot. And I was talking about it at work, and the chef I was working for at the time made me promise that I wouldn't serve the squirrels that I had hunted because he was worried. He was worried about where I might get them in the end. So I bought a bunch of wild hares off of a guy in Quebec to serve. A lot different than a farmed rabbit. A wild hare is a lot different than a farmed rabbit.
They're also red meat, right? They're a very different color.
Yeah.
Right. And when I was working at St. John, we would get the whole hare. It's noisy back there, Chris.
Yeah, there's you got someone at the front door.
Anyway, we'd get the whole hare, but they would still have the diaphragm in them, in the body.
Yeah.
And then we could cut that and then drain a bunch of blood out of there. And then we use the blood to thicken the sauce. Real medieval stuff. It's called jugged hare. Right?
Okay.
Real old English dish. But it was good. It was great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's got bakery spices. It's got mace in it and
Oh, okay.
cloves and stuff like that, right? I think there's cinnamon in it.
Yeah. Admiral's asking if you'd cook it in a copper pot.
Should you?
Why wouldn't you? Would you have copper pots at St. John? It doesn't seem like a copper pot kind of place.
No. We had stainless pots, right?
Yeah.
And we had carbon steel pans and stainless pots.
Well,
And a cast iron that we never used for anything. Just sat
well,
there.
cast iron's a bit of a pain in the ass in a restaurant. I did it, and it was a pain.
Well, I used to do it at one restaurant. We just put the cast iron on the back burner and have it on full burn, like full tilt the whole night. And
It would just burn everything off.
Well, twice a year we'd break it right in half.
Mm,
Touch it at the end of the night, it would just break.
yeah.
And you would pull the next one out.
Well, that's not a bad idea either. Cast iron pans, the pan you're treating that way didn't cost too much anyways. So we've got a couple of people while we've been chatting and chimed in with what their first Japanese.
Oh, right. We're supposed to actually talk about something
Yeah.
intelligent.
So Pat had an Enso Santoku. I don't know.
What's an
what that is.
Enso?
Yeah, tell us about an Enso, Pat, if you're still kicking around. Our pal Fred's first was a Koichi Nikiri. Oh wow, he had the date. You got a knife birthday. That's pretty cool. Koichi Nikiri is a great first knife.
Is that Fred? Fred's in Pennsylvania, isn't he?
Yes, that's Fred. Yeah.
Listen, there's some news out of Pennsylvania today. We got to talk to Fred. We got to ask Fred about this later. It's about shoveling snow and murder.
Okay. Murder? Did you say shoveling snow and murder?
It's about shoveling snow and murder.
Well, is it like in Home Alone, how the kids thought that the old man had the bodies in his salt bucket?
No, I think it's more to do with a family feud, and somebody just got going a bit too far. It wasn't you, Fred. I know you. I didn't recognize the name, so it wasn't you. Yeah, I should probably just talk about this. Chris, listen, I'm just going to interrupt. This has already gone off the rails anyway, and I
tried. For the record, I tried to bring it
I
back.
apologize. It's gone off the rails, and it's all Chris's fault and not mine. I've been trying my hardest to keep it going. Chris, in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
it might have been Pittsburgh, or might be the town Fred's from. I don't know. He says there's nowhere near him. I don't know if I believe him. But apparently there was a bit of a feud going on with these two families who were across the street from each other. And every snowfall, they would shovel the snow onto each other's property. And it was getting a little bit heated. And today or yesterday, there was a couple out, 48 and 50, so my age, right?
Yeah.
And they shoveled the snow onto this guy's lawn or onto his property. And he came out and shouted at them and said, "Don't you dare do that." And then he went back and got a pistol and shot them both in the street.
Holy moly.
But he wasn't done. So then he went back in the house and then came out with a machine gun or some kind of an automatic rifle and shot them some more.
Well, I guess if you're going to do it, you better make sure you finish it.
I don't even use two knives for half of my meals. But he used two guns for his
activity.
Murder. Maybe this is his first murder.
Yeah, maybe he didn't know that you only need one to really do it. Yeah. You know what? My neighbor, lovely guy, he uses his snowblower and takes care of my driveway for me. Yeah.
Really?
I owe him a bottle of whiskey. I'm going to buy him something nice as soon as I'm allowed to spend more money.
You got to be careful with that. My neighbor, who's 80 something now, when I first moved in, we both live on corner lots, so we both got a ton of shoveling. He likes to stay active, right? Like his wife is coming up to 70. He's a couple years older than her, and she still goes and does 5 and 10K runs on the regular. Like she goes out running twice or 3 times a week. So this old guy is 80, and he will shovel his, and if I'm not out in time, he'll start shoveling my walk. Right? And I didn't like this. So I was feeling guilty because at the time he was beating me all the time. A lot of my shoveling or all of it. And he's also he's also one of the neighborhood snowblower guy too, right? Yeah. So I bought him a nice bottle of scotch one year. Yeah. And then I think he felt like he was obliged to shovel my walk then. So eventually I bought
Mm.
a nicer bottle of scotch, and this went on for a while. And I finally said, like, here's your scotch. Please don't shovel my walk anymore. I should be
Yeah.
doing yours. Like, this is
Yeah.
terrible. And he's like,
Yeah.
well, you don't get up at 5. I'm like, no shit, I don't get up at 5.
No, he's just like that. Like
It's snowing.
he's like the
Be
vacation dad.
careful.
You ever see like I send you those memes sometimes from that like Instagram account, and it's always like the dads like waking up at 5. Like the only reason you do it is just so you can tell everyone else that they were shitty for sleeping in. Like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. He's got a snowblower. He does the drive. We share a driveway. Like I live in a townhouse, so we share the driveway. I'm gonna buy him something. He's nice. He does it. I don't even like. It's almost gotten to the point where I almost kind of like, I'm gonna risk it. See if Andre does the driveway today, and if he doesn't, I'll do it when I get home. So
Be careful.
Yeah.
You might create a monster.
Well, that's a monster I can handle, at least for now. We're not like, he's not 80, so.
That's good.
Spoon Monkey's first Masakage Yuki, or first Japanese knife, was a Yuki Nikiri. So we've had two people's first knives.
Was it a Nikiri?
Was a Nikiri made by the same guy.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Right? Because a Masakage Koishi and a Yuki, depending on the time frame, well, the last name's Kato either way. So
it's a true fact.
So, and then who we got here? We've got, go down a little bit farther, our buddy Brian Crook, Shun Classic. Well, you know what? Shuns, I think, this is a good point, Brian. I think Shuns are a lot of people's first knives. And I know the Voog later commented that his was a Miyabi, but I think Miyabis and Shuns are a lot of people's first knives.
Well, it's because they're the ones that are easy to get.
Yeah.
Right? And they're common. You can go to the bay and get one. You can't just go out and get a Masakage, right? You gotta search for it, or be lucky to have a shop like Knifewear in your city, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I used to.
Sorry, Nathan told me I'm supposed to say smash a button and ring a bell.
Oh, we'll figure that. I'll figure that out.
Say that, Chris.
I'm supposed to say it. Nathan didn't tell me to say it.
Oh, he told me. I don't know what he means. There was like subscribe, ring a bell or something.
He's asking everybody watching on YouTube to subscribe to our channel and click on the little bell icon so you receive notifications of when we've put up a new video.
That's a thing?
That's the thing, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Fergus told me about that.
Fergus Henderson or Fergus?
Fergus McVeigh. Yeah, Fergus McVeigh.
Oh, McVeigh. I can't even keep track of all the Ferguses.
So we've got, so Brian's is a Shun. You know what? The first Japanese knife I ever saw was a Shun. I worked at a restaurant called Juniper when I got out of culinary school. And one of the guys who owned it was a Wusthof guy. The other guy who owned it was a Shun guy. It's just
and on the weekends they fought.
And then they fought. They argued about it. Yeah. The chef that I worked for there, his name was Richard, and Richard was he had never gone to school or anything like that. Like he'd kind of fallen into the kitchens, like which happens to a lot of people. Kind of fallen into it, made a go of it, eventually opened his own restaurant. But he used to tease me all the time. He'd be like, I never went to fancy culinary school like you. I just read a bunch of books and figured it out. Turns out you can do that too.
I used to work with this guy here. I got a picture of him here. Where is he? There he is. This funny looking guy here. Right there, that guy.
Yeah, I do like the suit.
His name's Mr. Fergus Henderson. He's never went to cooking school.
He's an architect before, wasn't he?
Well, he was in Italy studying architecture. His dad's an architect, and his grandfather's an architect. He thought he'd like to be an architect, and he went to Italy to learn how to speak Italian and go to school to be architect. And his architecture teacher said, Fergus, this is you've been here for 3 years, and you really have no aptitude for drawing nice houses or for speaking Italian. Maybe you need to find something else.
Okay. They didn't put that in the first books forward. So.
Well, you can't be good at everything.
No, you know what? Find one thing you're good at and kind of try to dig in.
The swings and roundabouts, right?
Admiral Longstash's first knife was a Takamura R2 Gyuto. That's a good first knife.
Nice.
You're setting the bar pretty high for yourself there, Admiral. Fighting Usyk. Had a Yaxel Dragonfire Gyuto. That's a name that I see come up. I've only ever seen pictures of them. I've never had a. I don't think I've ever held on to a Yaxel knife.
They're from Seki.
Okay.
And,
I know people ask about them sometimes when we're doing this, but I haven't.
We don't carry them.
Yeah. So, and then Damon's first knife was a Japanese 165 Santoku by Yoshimitsu Hamono. Don't know that one. $175 for a handmade knife. Ended up losing it, and you still miss. I've lost knives too. I don't know, Damon. Do you work in a restaurant? Because I tend to. That's when I lost most of my knives.
Someone stole a knife of mine the first day I worked in London. I worked for this restaurant. This lady called Sally Clark.
Okay.
Super mean kitchen, super mean lady. She'd worked with Alice Waters for years at Chez Panisse.
Okay.
And yeah, my first day in that kitchen, somebody stole my paring knife. First day. And I was only there for about 5 days. I just couldn't handle it. They were so mean. Such horrible, mean people there.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. I landed on my feet.
You figured it out. You figured it out. You got there. Matthew Berkowitz's. Matthew Berkowitz's first knife was a Ken Onion 7-inch Santoku. I've sharpened a few of those.
I have sharpened a ton of those. They were really popular there for a while.
Yeah, they've got a they got a pretty funky handle on them too.
I always thought they looked like a bit of a Klingon knife. I'm like, that's what a Klingon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. What else we got here? The Vugs was a Miyabi Gyuto his parents gave him for Christmas years ago. I want to actually say something before we get into something showed up at the shop this week.
Oh?
It's courtesy of the Vug.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Picture you and I on there. That's so nice.
So there's two of them. There's two of them here. So, but I was waiting until I was sure that he was watching before I put it on.
I like it.
There we go.
Hey, Chris, do you have any news about t-shirts or about shirts?
Well, I know that we want to make some shirts.
Well, I've got news about things.
Okay, yeah, because no one's told me this.
This diet of mine that involves instant coffee and not enough calories and $24 of boring. I've lost 7 pounds since Monday. Mike told me to weigh myself Monday morning. Smart man. He's like, how much you lose weight? Yeah, I lost 7 pounds already. It was fine. Big fat guys like me, weight falls off pretty quick. Yeah,
it's pretty encouraging. When you've got weight you can spare, it tends to go away pretty quick. I'd probably lose another couple pounds if I shaved.
That's what I did. That's actually what I went.
Yeah. Spoon Monkey's got a knife question. Here we go. What is Spoon Monkey's 5th Japanese knife going to be? Either the Moritaka 240 Gyuto or something 240 stainless, but not mirror polished.
My first Japanese knife was my first Japanese knife was a global, but I never liked the handle and I gave it away. When I say gave it away, I sold it for beer. I traded beer. I traded beer for that global knife. I would get like tingly feeling in my hand and then like in my forearm using it, like the handle, and because it had a really skinny handle, and it just never worked for me. I got big hands, right? It never worked for me. My second Japanese knife was a shun. A shun, I think it's like what do they call it? A shun 8-inch something. Anyway. And then my first, what I think of as my first real Japanese knife that got me super excited was, and you've got them there, it's the Yokuma. I got the 180 Santoku. I meant to go get it from the Calgary shop. It's actually in a frame. Yeah. On the wall at the Calgary shop. That's a little trophy.
It's a new one.
Mine doesn't look like that anymore. Mine's destroyed.
Yeah.
But that's the first real Japanese knife I got. And the second one I got was a 180 Gyuto from Murata-san.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool. I just knocked a bunch of stuff over.
Anyway, so Spoon Monkey, maybe like I'm looking for a 240 Kuma, not the Yo Kuma with the Western handle, but the Kuma with the Japanese handle.
You mean one of these?
You've got one of those, right?
No, I own a 210. I don't know why, but I bought a 210.
You got a 240 because I was trying to get one on the warehouse and they don't have any at the warehouse the other day.
Well, here's one. I'll send you an invoice.
I want one. I really want one of those.
Yeah, no, they're an amazing knife. I love them.
And I love can you see it in there, like the way the choil is beveled in there. I really love how that looks and feels.
Yeah,
and it's just a brilliant knife. Listen,
yeah.
Spoon Monkey, just get one of those, and then tell me what it's like, because I want one. I can't seem to get one.
Yeah, no, they're a great knife. Damon lost the knife. Didn't get stolen.
What knife is that?
Oh, it was his first Japanese knife. It was
the one with the name I didn't know. Right.
Yeah, and I have done that too. I actually had, so my dad made me this really nice leather knife roll years ago. And I had all my knives wrapped up, and I drove a Ford Escape at the time. And I was loading up the car, I put my daughter in the car, loading it up, and I put my knife roll up on the roof. And then I drove from my parents' house to my house, which was a 45-minute drive on the highway. And it rolled back and got caught in the roof rack. So I got home after having driven for about an hour or so in a snowstorm, and my knives were still on the roof. I had realized how dumb I had been and how I could have lost them all. Because at that time, that was before I worked here. I was still a cook. That would have been devastating to lose. Like if I'd lost all my knives when I was still making cook wages, I would be on $24 a week. And I'm not being funny. That's real.
No, because you'd have to replace your knives, right?
Yeah.
What would you do? I most restaurants I worked at had some kitchen knives that were either those horrible Nellas that were rental knives, or they had just some garbage that was in there, probably left over from previous cooks or something.
I don't know. I would have had to borrow. From my colleagues. There weren't any knives in that kitchen. So
that'd be awful.
Yeah.
We did. He was saying his elderly neighbors built a sauna in their garden, and so they're always running around naked in the back. And he drilled a hole in the wall so we can look through. He said.
I'm pretty sure that's not what he said. I'm gonna put up what he actually said.
Yeah,
I think you just got.
I read that wrong.
You read it wrong. Yeah. So, there was a question over on Instagram. Fella named Jim, I think it was John. Sorry, John was just asking if the Masakage Yuki, if they've been discontinued, or if it's a matter of bad luck. It's just bad luck. The Masakage Yuki is going to continue being made. It's just a matter of handmade takes time, and the past year has finally caught up with what's going on in the blacksmiths' workshops. They're experiencing the same delays and everything that the rest of us are with things like shipping and supply. And
if there's a knife you really, really want, and it seems to always be out of stock, what do you do, Chris?
You put yourself, there's a list, okay? If you go to the knife that you're looking for, it says out of stock. There's gonna be a little red button on the page that says notify me notify when available. You click on that, you put your email address on that list, and then you'll get an email as soon as they arrive in our Calgary warehouse. You'll get an email, you go ahead and you buy it, and it'll ship out. That is the fastest way to get a knife that you're waiting for. Now what happens a lot is people put themselves on the list and then they call the store. This happens to me almost once a day. Be like, oh, the knife is back in stock. And I'll be like, is it? I don't know. You'll know before I do, as a store manager.
Yeah, because all the knives arrive in Calgary at the warehouse.
Yeah. So they land in Calgary, they get received into our warehouse, the emails go out, and then after the fact, they'll send us, because we get restocked weekly in the store. So, yeah, you'll know before I do, which doesn't mean don't call. I'd love to talk to you, but I just might not have the answers for you. So, Damon had a good question earlier. Damon's got a couple of good ones here today, Kevin.
Good, because usually they're stupid.
No, Damon is usually good for questions. We've got a pretty good
I'm
group
feeling
here.
mean, Chris. I've been eating the same food and I don't like it.
It's true. It's true.
I
It is.
thought it would be fun. I thought it'd be fun to have a week of eating pasta.
Yeah.
I just hate it. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Well, and you didn't even buy any butter. Like, I could eat pasta with butter.
I know. I didn't buy any butter because I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Like, I could have bought
chicken.
Maybe I could have done that. I could have just eaten, like, I could have spent my $24 on a bag of spaghetti, 2 blocks of butter, and a bunch of garlic.
Well, I was thinking maybe next time I get a big bag of potatoes, butter, onions, cream, and some bacon.
Yeah.
And some green onions.
And just eat, like, see, that sounds
not super healthy, but every meal would be delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with what I had. Like I said last night, like I sat down to. So here's the thing: Kevin was much smarter about this than I was, where he had made arrangements that he's not cooking dinner for everyone in his house. I'm not smart enough. I didn't say that. I had to cook sausages and corn and rice for my whole family. I sat down to my bowl of beans and rice, and they're like, and all my kids, like they're being cute and nice. They're like, how's your dinner, Dad? And I'm like, fucking terrible. Leave me alone. You know, like I stopped baking like 2 days in. You know,
I'll be escaping. I'll be escaping today because there's a ham and scalloped potatoes happening at my house.
Yeah, and, that's a good time to go for a bike ride.
Well, no, there's a hockey game on, so I'm just gonna escape to the basement and watch a hockey game. I'm having Roman Deluxe tonight, there, buddy. I got those little chicken I bought. It's got a little tiny chicken breast, like a little breast. So I'm gonna boil the cabbage, and then boil the noodles. Put a whole packet in, not a half packet like I've been doing in the ramen. Whole packet, and so it's gonna have cabbage, noodles, whole packet, and chicken breast sliced up.
Shredded up. Oh, nice. That's good.
And I've even got some elbow macaroni that's extra. So I think I might put that in too.
Just bulk up.
And I still got 3 onions. So I might just do some really like brunoise, like really fine diced onion. Just put that on top, just brighten the flavor up.
Brighten it up a bit. That's not a
People
bad idea.
laughed at me for buying onions. They said that's a stupid buy. And I thought, no, it was a good buy. Onions are great.
Yeah.
I made onion soup.
I bought onions.
I've made fried onions and cabbage. I'm going to put some raw onions on this thing. I don't know. Onions are not bad at all, I didn't think.
Yeah, no, it's a good, they don't know what they're talking about. So here, Damon's got a question for us. Have either of you used up the whole life of a blade from regular sharpening?
I had one, and I don't have it anymore because I don't know where it is actually. You know what? I think I might have it in the basement. I could go but look. But I basically used up my Victorinox boning knife. Like it's just like a little toothpick now.
Yeah.
But doesn't cut worth a damn. It's just like a little fat wedge of steel.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't like completely used up a knife, but before I worked here, and I think Kevin had a similar mindset before you start sharpening a lot of knives. When I was a cook, I fancied myself a pretty good knife sharpener. And I sharpened
We all do.
Yeah. And I had been sharpening my Moritaka, my Kiritsuke, by myself. Never thinned it out once. Then when I came to work here and I realized I put a big friggin' arc in the blade and everything, by the time I finished it out, like fixed it all up, I'd lost a fair bit. So I've kind of got like a tall Tsujihiki now. I don't have the big beefy Kiritsuke. And that's the real reason why I know I mention it every now and again that I want to replace that knife. I want to buy it again because I did really like it when I first had it, and I pooched it myself. So, but that was 3 years of poor sharpening.
Fred, who didn't kill his neighbor over snow shoveling, but lives next door to that, said he would have made his lamb ragu for $24 and eaten that for 4 days. Well, that's nice, but you would have been hungry for the other 3.
Yeah.
The problem with this
And you can
challenge,
eat
man,
that
it's
for 3 meals a day. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I could eat lamb ragu right now,
Yeah.
3 meals a day.
I've kind of like, it's almost like a cheating kind of thought, but I've been trying to think of what I'm going to eat on Monday. When
I've
it's
been
over.
fantasizing about it. I've been fantasizing about Monday.
Kind of
And
between
I think I landed on a piece of, like, take a nice piece of sourdough and drizzle oil on both sides, fry it.
Yeah.
And then a lump of burrata, like the buffalo mozzarella, and then something like maybe a lot of pesto, or I don't know. I think it's gonna be in that direction.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking like a steak and Caesar.
Oh, I'm talking breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, steak and Caesar would be brilliant. A ribeye and Caesar, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Wouldn't meatballs be nice right now?
I'd eat anything right now.
Would a piece of fish be nice right now? How about a potato? How about a potato with some cream?
Oh, any of it.
How about a fried egg? Fried egg on toast?
Fried egg on toast would be good too. Yeah, I like a good fried egg.
How about gin and tonic jelly?
Any of it.
I did a gin and tonic jelly.
Sunday Gourmet on Instagram is asking if we've got 99 cents. Yeah, we've got dollar stores, Dollarama. You could.
I'm going to go and buy a box of cookies.
Yeah. Kevin used the dollar store a lot more than I did. Yeah, Kevin didn't you find sea salt at the dollar store?
I did. I got a big thing of sea salt.
Yeah.
At this, and the first 2 meals I made, I really leaned into the sea salt so much. It was so salty.
Yeah. Nate is telling us, that's this fella, Chef Haverco, my mom's friend is buying me a knife for cooking for her daughter's birthday. Oh, that's nice. What should I get? I kind of want a Kiritsuke or a Sujihiki around 150 or $200, or you'd go with a Santoku. I'll spend $200 on a Santoku. Look at the Fujimoto Nishiji. A lot of that goes.
That's a real strawberry scalpel.
That's a strawberry scalpel.
It's not. That's just a funny word.
Yeah, that was a good one. What else want to go with? Around $200. The Fujimoto Nishiji line is going to be real friendly on that budget. The Haruyuki Mugi is going to be really
210 Mugi or Goma Haruyuki.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I think the Shishi is the Kokuto in that department.
I know the 240 is like 239. So yeah, the Santoku would be good. You're gonna be hard pressed, like, unless you're like the Tojiro DP, which are a great line. You'd get a Sujihiki in that price point. You're gonna be a little hard pressed to find a Sujihiki in that 150 to 200. They exist, but there's not as many of them.
Garage sale's coming.
Oh yeah, garage sale's always good for
May, long weekend in May. Garage sale's going to be here. And Naoto and I have already got some really cool stuff. He's been buying expensive things. I've been buying cheap stuff. So we've got some of those.
It's good to have a mix.
We got some of those Tosa knives coming for sure.
And those are good. Yeah, you get a Yeah, they would for sure.
And I think we got some Zakari. I've got some of those.
I remember those.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll have some stuff coming up. If you don't find it, you can actually, when you're looking on the website there, Nate, you can filter it all based on the amount you want to spend and whatnot over on the left-hand side. So take a look. And if there's not anything that you want right now, maybe just ask her for a gift card for the time being, and then you can hit up the garage sale. Dr. G asked this question twice, so I want to make sure I get to it. He's been very patient. He's a good man. We both love 240 Gyutos, but would you rather have a 195 or 210 Denka or a 240 Gyuto made by another maker under 900 Canadian? Is Fujiwara's work worth the sacrifice in length? I would say yes.
I've got 3 210 Denkas. I got a standard handle, a rosewood handle. No, a standard handle, a ironwood handle, and a red handle one.
Yeah. I would say a
3 of the same knife. The 210 Fujiwara Denka. Why do I have 3? It's the only knife that I have multiples of. Yeah. And I have 3 because I think they are extraordinary knives. So I would just go for that for sure, 100%.
Yeah, I would go for the 210 I would go for the 210. The 195 is nice, but it's not your first knife. Like a 195 is for someone who thinks a 210 is too big.
Yeah.
The
210s, I think his 210s are perfect. I think his 240s are too long. I don't think they're very well balanced. They feel like a hammer. And the 195 is almost long enough. But the 210, I can pretty much do everything I need. I'm a fan of that knife, big time.
So so Spoon Monkey has asked, well, let's go back a bit. James is a buddy here in Ottawa. He was in the $24 week. He'd hit a bulk. Bulk Barn would have been a good.
Near me.
Yeah, Bulk Barn would have been a good move. I'll be honest, I didn't put, like, Kevin was calling me like every day. Like, he's like, I've been scoping out Dollar Store. I've been looking at the flyers, and I just kind of flew by the seat of my pants. And
well, you know what I ended up doing too? Same. I just went to the local store and went in and just went for it. Yeah.
So, but no, if I have a feeling that this is an event that Operation Come Home is going to put on more. Like, I think they might lean on this one quite a bit because we've raised a ton of money so far. Like,
well, what was their original goal? What did they think they were going to raise with this fund?
The original goal was $5,000.
Yeah. Do you know what, Chris? I think mine right now. Let's see. Let's refresh this.
Well, I've got you. You're at $5,269.
Yeah.
That's what people have pledged for you to do this.
Yeah.
You know, I've raised, Alex and I shouldn't just say I, because Alex is doing it as well. We're at $2,405. So overall, Operation Come Home so far has raised $15,681 through this channel.
And there's also 6 is from Knifewear. Hey.
Yeah. So there are people who are doing like their own, like, they're doing like Facebook campaigns. People, you can donate just through their generic, like through the website as well. So they've got more than that on, like, they've raised more, but it's hard to track everything.
Chris, I've got to say, I really thought I would raise $800.
Yeah, I didn't know. I put 1,000 thinking I'd get 800 maybe.
So I was thinking, yeah, I'd raise $800. And then I said, this is when I said, I will double whatever I raise if I cheat.
Yep.
Or if I fail. I said I was going to double it. Well, now, Chris, if I double it now, I'm out $5,269. That'll be a really, really expensive cheat.
That's a big day. That's a big day for you.
Well, and the thing is, too, 500 of this is from my wife. So I'll be paying tax on the $500.
Yeah, you're going to have to double up. So, what else? Spoon Monkey said, what's the best question a customer has ever asked you? Like, do you think like you want like the funniest one? Or do you want
I always liked, what makes these knives Japanese?
That's a good one.
I've always liked that one. That used to be a quite common one when I was in the shops all the time. So what makes these Japanese?
Yeah. Well, what does make them Japanese, Kevin? You may as well answer it.
I think because they're made in Japan by Japanese blacksmiths with Japanese steel using age-old Japanese methods. I think we can call them Japanese because of that.
Yeah.
That was always an interesting one. What makes these Japanese? And they always say it like that too, like it's a really thoughtful question. So I was confused by that one often. The other one I think I got the most of was, do you have steak knives?
We do get asked that a lot. Yeah.
And then we go, yes, here they are. Here's all the options. And then people go, great, thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you sharpen a bread knife? That happens a lot.
Can't. Well, you could, but we're terrible.
Yeah, but you don't. Well, and you don't want to pay for it. That's the big thing.
Can you sharpen this sword?
No. You know what I tell? Like, if it's meant to poke a person, we won't sharpen it.
Yeah. Plus swords, we will just screw them up.
Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah.
No, it's totally a different. It's different world.
So we've got this event here near Ottawa. It's the Glengarry Highland Games. It's kind of out where I grew up. I'm sure a bunch of the Ottawa centric people will know what I'm talking about. But there was a kid. They always got because it's they're doing the caber toss and there's the beer tent and the whole. There's always the guy with the weapons, right? He's got the axes and the Lord of the Rings swords, and there's always that guy. I had a phone call one day from a kid, had just bought something. I say a kid. He could have been, I don't know how old he was. I presume he was a kid because he was drunk at 2 p.m, and we had the following conversation. He's like, oh, I just bought this sword and I just want to put an edge on it. And I was like, we don't really do that. He's like, well, where can I do it? I'm like, look, dude, I don't know. It's those kind of things. They're not supposed to be sharp. They're not supposed to be, it's not, let's not talk about this kind of thing. I kept trying to kind of push it off to the side. I'm like, well, what do you want to do with it? He's like, I just want to cut watermelons. I was like, you can cut watermelons the way it is. Please stop asking. I'm not going to sharpen your replica of Gandalf's sword. Please stop bothering me.
Well, there you go. Go to blank in the States. I don't know where in the States he is, but he'll sharpen your sword. So mail it to him or her.
Yeah.
They.
Do it to blank. If you got a sword you need sharpened, blank's going to send me an email. And I'll get
best sword sharpener I know. Best sword sharpener I know outside of Japan.
Yeah. Samurai fingers piped at the Glengarry Highland Games back in the 90s. Yeah. We used to sneak in. My high school math teacher actually snuck a bunch of us into the beer tents. Pretended that we were his.
Blank said if you are watching this live stream, you get 50% off sword sharpening.
Yeah. 50% off your sword sharpening. TJ Ronan, we don't do any. I don't know if you're joking, but we don't do anything with swords. We're just about the kitchen knives.
But I did say that I was going to bring out a sword one day.
Did you? Well,
I've got a sword. I've got a 400-year-old sword, man.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. I'll bring the sword out one day.
Okay. Well, then we'll do that for TJ.
I think Nathan has it on the schedule that I'm bringing the sword out one day.
Oh,
I'll try to get the handle off too. I'll get the whole kit out. I hope I can find it, and I'll get the handle off and look at the signature. You know what? I'm really concerned that I didn't oil it properly when I put it away last time. I'm very concerned it's going to be tarnished. I'm very concerned.
Mount Everest says that he thought Japanese knives were Japanese because they were harvested from a Japanese knife tree. That's as good of a reason as any, really.
Listen, somebody else was asking, why are so many good knives out of stock? And I'll tell you, it's with handmade knives. Sometimes this happens, right? Sometimes the one you want is out of stock because they can't just leave the machine running longer to make more knives. It actually involves a man with a hammer working to make more knives. 1, 2. This year has been a challenge for everybody everywhere, right? It's been hard to get supplies. More people are taking time off than they usually do.
Yeah.
There's shipping problems, all of that. And that's compounded on our website. That is just, we're out of a lot of knives right now. We're trying our hardest. We've got yearly orders in with everybody. We've got top-up monthly orders with people. We're trying our best. If there's something on our website that you really want, but it seems to be out of stock continuously, there's a button there that says notify me when available. Press that button.
Yeah.
Press it. Put your information in, and you'll get an email as soon as it arrives in the warehouse. As soon as you get the email, buy it.
Yeah.
Because it's first come, first served. Then if it's one of these things that's always out of stock, like a Tinker Tank, for example, you get it, you buy it. Boom. Get that email, buy it, and then it's yours. We'll get it in the post that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. We're trying our hardest to get every knife that we want and have a full stock. It's just really challenging this year. Yeah. But that's everywhere. Try to buy a bicycle right now.
Oh yeah. Or even, you know what? So Sean, who works in the Ottawa store here, he's been trying to build himself a computer, and he's had graphics cards are on back order. Like he was watching some Twitch channel where some dude was just there with like, oh, okay, Best Buy just got them in stock. They've got like 200. Go and buy them. Like it took him like 3 weeks of actively trying to. It's like people waiting for concert tickets.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I was gonna buy. Yeah, we were gonna build a computer at this house this year for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went to Best Buy or EB Games or whatever it was. I didn't go. Candace went. My wife went, and she came back and she said the guy laughed at me.
Yeah.
And said there just isn't. They just don't have them, right? Just don't have the things. Which is a bummer. Super big bummer.
Leon over, or I think Leon J. Allen Chef is a student of mine from Algonquin.
Oh yeah.
But who's the most rock and roll Japanese knife maker? Who would you pick?
Takamura's in a band.
Yeah.
Heavy metal band. I've been karaoke with Takamura. He doesn't need a microphone. Dude can sing. He can hammer it out.
Yeah.
And he's good. Like he's a great singer.
Yeah.
So there we go. That's the one I'm sticking with. Takamura-san is rock and roll in the most literal sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say in a less literal sense, I might put Fujiwara up there. Like Fujiwara doesn't mess around.
J.O. Bauman said, have you any of the blacksmiths you work with who supply knifewear have ever disappointed you? No need to name names. Yes, there's a few knife makers or suppliers that we don't work with anymore because of reasons, usually quality reasons. So there's a few brands that are kind of popular that everybody else seems to carry, and we used to carry years ago, but we don't anymore.
Yeah, well, that happens sometimes, right? Here's Admiral Longstash has a question, and I don't know. I think I know the answer, Kevin, but I think you would know better. The handle shape on the Shibata Kotetsu is quite similar to some of Ryosen's Gyutos. Is that a coincidence?
We're talking about the wall handles?
Yeah. I presume they all...
It's a real easy coincidence. They're both in the same town. They're made. And Yamakin is the handle maker there. So like Yamakin makes handles for everybody in Echizen.
Yeah.
Which is Ryosen and Takamura and all the Masakages and all that. But also Moritaka uses them.
Yeah.
Also Takeda-san uses them. Sometimes Masashi uses them, but they have a handle maker up in Niigata area that Masashi usually uses, but he uses Yamakin sometimes from Echizen. So that's why they're familiar, because same maker.
Yeah. So Ryosen is right next door to Takamura, right?
Well, they used to work together, right? But it's
they're not buds right now.
Have gone different ways lately.
Yeah. But then Yamakin is just around the corner, right? Like you could.
Yeah, Yamakin. I could throw a rock.
You've got like Takamura, Ryosen, and you go down the street, and then the handle shop is there, and then Saji is around the corner, right? You can't see my picture.
Yeah, and if you turn the other way, you can go to Asai-san, which is now Yamamoto's place.
Okay.
So it's just it's just a little blacksmithing area. Oh, not the handles, the blades. Okay.
Well, those would be made. I would just say if I had to guess, it's just a stylistic.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a coincidence. They're different people using them.
Ryosen blades are stamped and not hand forged like the Kotetsus are hand forged by Ikeda-san.
And he's doing that
it's the same town, but he's doing that in Knife Village, and they have a press, so he hammers them bigger than he needs, and then the press comes down like a cookie cutter, boom, and knocks out the shape.
I'm going to go back a little bit here because I want to make sure we didn't miss anything.
Derek Brown says Masashi's the most rock and roll because he forges in sandals and a t-shirt and no hat. Yes, I get that. He's crazy.
He does, and he smokes a lot of cigarettes. That's kind of makes me think.
You know what? The cigarettes I don't like, but everything else I like about that Masashi character a lot. He's growing Saskatoon berries at his house.
Oh, is he?
Saskatoon berries are just like a really great wild blueberry from the prairies.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're called service berries. They're very close to lingonberries.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of these berries. Masashi was at my house. I made him. I had made some Saskatoon jam. We had Saskatoon pie, and he decided he loved them. So he was on eBay or on Amazon in Japan, trying to buy Saskatoon berries.
Can you do that?
Well, no, but he found Saskatoon berry bushes. So he's planted 3 Saskatoon bushes in Sanjo.
Oh, we should ask him for pictures.
Yeah, they're tiny, dude. Like they were literally this big.
Oh.
This tiny things. But he says he thinks maybe in 3 years he'll get some berries. He's pretty excited. And his wife, man, she's such a good cook.
Well, he's a bit of a foodie anyhow, eh?
Yeah.
He was fun to have in town because he wanted to go. Like we went to North and Navy and had a great meal, and he wanted to try because I found hanging out with a lot of the blacksmiths was less. Like anybody, some people are more adventurous than others, but Masashi wanted to try a bunch of other stuff that we he was fun to take out for dinner and hang out with for sure.
He likes nice restaurants and stuff like that.
I got to take him wine shopping.
Some of them just want to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just I just want ramen, thanks.
Yeah. No, I got to take him wine shopping, and that was fun. TJ, I apologize. I didn't know that the sword show and tell was happening because I didn't look at the schedule yet. It's going to be next Tuesday. Tuesday. Yeah. So
I got to make sure it's at this house.
Better find it.
Doc, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to have a quick look.
Well, you take a quick look, and I'll. But don't show it if you find it. Dr. G says the best question he has as a veterinarian is, how old do you think my dog is? He responds with, how long have you had the dog? 8 years. Was it a puppy when you got it? Yes. The dog is 8 years old. Makes sense.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
That's a better answer because I thought you cut them in half and count the rings. So good. Look what I found.
Oh, it is in that house.
What do you think is in this box?
Maybe it's what you went to go looking for. Here, TJ's got a good question. Now keep it in that. Give someone a reason to come on Tuesday. Don't show it right now. Is there 2 of them?
No, the blade is here.
Yeah.
And then the handle and stuff is here. And I've even got a tanto here. So I got a small. Oh, wow. But this is just, I've only got the steel. I don't have the handle.
Don't unwrap it. Leave it.
The tanto I have likely didn't have a handle.
You're not supposed to show it until Tuesday.
I'm not showing it.
He's just making sure. Okay. So TJ is thinking about pulling the trigger on buying a Kurosaki and wondering if we have any of ourselves. I know you do. I don't have a Kurosaki yet.
Several. I have several because I'm a big fan. I think he does great work.
Yeah.
No tarnish.
You did it.
No tarnish. Oh, so happy. I've been concerned about that.
Yeah. Well, that would be a thing, right? So what do you? Okay. So we've got Leon J. Allen is asking on Instagram, what's Kurosaki's best blade? And then TJ is asking, he wants to pull the trigger on one, wondering if we have one ourselves. How might you direct someone, Kevin? What do you think they should look for?
You know what? I think Kurosaki, all of his blades are good. I've got a few Gyutos. I've got a Santoku. I've got a couple of Petties, both 150s. You know, I think all of his knives are great. I don't like, you know what the Moritake is? I think the Moritake is Nikiri, Slicers, and Hanasuki's are the best. I think Takeda's 240 Gyutos are the best. I don't think in my mind, Kurosaki doesn't have a size or a shape that is that he's better at producing than others. I don't think.
I understand what you mean.
We have some Chinese cleavers of his coming from garage sale. Chris, did you hear that? We have some Chinese cleavers coming from Kurosaki.
From Kurosaki. Oh, okay, cool.
That's cool.
Wow. Well, that'll be something to check out. Maybe that'll be my first Kurosaki.
Samurai fingers. This is how I got a 400-year-old katana. It's actually a wakizashi, so it's smaller than a katana, I'm told. Out of Japan, I did this. Shibata-san did the paperwork there. They packed it up here. You can see the customs. So Japanese customs opened the thing and checked all the paperwork and sent it. Canada Customs stopped and opened it, inspected it, and I have it now. Because we did it legally on the up and up. It took about 6 months to get everything, in place.
Yeah.
That's how I did it.
Yeah.
How much does a 400-year-old sword cost? Well, I was going to sell it for $12,000. Was going to be the price on it, but I never sold it, and that wasn't me making any money on it, really.
Yeah.
But I kept it because it's cool.
Oh, that's kind of. That's you know, you do that. You do that sometimes.
That was the first time I did that.
Well, I guess that's a good time to do it too.
That was also the year I sold my car to buy Christmas inventory.
I haven't heard that story.
Well, you don't know about that? I sold my car one year to buy Christmas inventory.
Oh, geez.
You know.
We've got Damon asked us if there's an appreciable difference between an Onru blade and a Masakage Onru blade.
The biggest difference is Andrew-san makes knives where he feels like it, and with Masakage, he's got very strict guidelines he's supposed to do, and Shibata-san inspects and sharpens all of them. So at the very least, they're going to be sharper, but they also pass a couple of extra Shibata-san inspection tests.
Yeah.
So that's the big
I know in the last couple garage sales, we've gotten some cool like blue carbon steel Tsuchime knives.
Yep.
For Onru, from Onru, and those are awesome. What else have I seen? That's the one that sticks out. Sometimes we get those white carbon Kurochi ones as well.
Yeah.
Those turn up.
Listen, there's lots of talk about this sword and legally getting it out of Japan. There's a lot of concern about it. There's a lot of because I've heard lots of different stories about it. This sword isn't listed or isn't seen as a treasure because they don't. This is my understanding, how it was explained to me. We don't know who the maker of this sword was. It wasn't a famous maker, and the maker's name has been
like scratched out.
Scratched out. Well, basically, somebody. It seems at some point in its life, somebody tried to make this a forgery. So they took an old sword and then they scratched a very high-class blacksmith's name into it.
Oh, okay.
It's not a real signature.
Okay.
So I'm told I can have this legally after we've done the paperwork and everything because we don't know the history or who the maker is. It's totally obscured. So that's how I got. I've not done anything weird to get it out. You can see, like I said, you can see where it says Japanese customs here, right?
Yeah.
Japanese customs actually inspected this package and looked at all the paper. It's all above board. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Oh my God.
Right?
I'm not interested in breaking laws.
Okay. You guys want to hear, this is Chris Lord's story time. If you want to hear a story about getting caught at the border with stuff you're not supposed to have. I got caught.
I know this one.
Coming across the border. So I used to own a restaurant. It's still around. We specialized in Southern food. And I'd done a lot of... What?
What was this one called?
It's called... I'm going to say what it says on the sign, and then Kevin is going to chime in. It's called Union Local 613.
I like that one.
Yeah. So I was working there the first time I met Kevin. But I've been reading a lot about these Southern hams. And there was a lot like David Chang was all about buying these Southern hams, serving them like raw, like a Serrano ham or a prosciutto or something like that. And I'd read about Sean Brock doing it and that same sort of thing. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll give that a go. We're serving the same kind of food. So I do a bunch of research. I find this, Alan Benton is a ham maker down in Kentucky. And It's like David Chang's favorite stuff, right? So I'm like, well, I'll try to order some. Well, it turns out they can't ship to Canada because of food laws and such. You can't bring cured meats from other places into Canada. And so I decided, I'm like, well, I'll just go around it. I'll just have it shipped to the UPS store in Ogdensburg, which is about a 45-minute drive away from me. And I'll just drive down and pick it up, and then I'll come back. So I drove down, and I got stuck at the border.
Sounds like a good plan. Simple.
Yeah. So I did it.
Elegant.
Yep. Yep. I ordered my 4 hams. That's the important number. 4 hams.
Good thinking. You don't want to get short.
Don't want to get shorted. No. So I go down, and because a lot of people will go to this town who live in my area and buy their groceries and come back. So I just had it in my head. I'm like, oh, I'll just tell them I bought some groceries. So I bought some groceries. Like, well, what'd you buy? I'm like, oh, I got some pork. I got some milk, that kind of thing. And then they're like, well, how much pork? I was like, well, how much do I want to lie now? That's where I got. So I was like, look, I got these hams. And they're like, all right, let's get a look. And they pulled me over there. I had to go like in the office and everything. It was like that show on TV where they get the people at the airport. And I went in and I was sitting there and they Googled me. Just typed my name into Google, found out I owned a Southern restaurant. What was I going to do with these hams from Kentucky? Say, for your restaurant? No. What are you going to do with 4 hams? Because this is like a whole, like, this isn't like a ham. Like, this isn't a ham.
It's a whole leg.
This is a ham. There's a whole pig's leg. And they're like, and I was like, well, I just really like ham. Easter's coming up. I'm going to cook one from a family, put the other 3 in the freezer. They're like, bullshit. You just called bullshit on me. Wouldn't let me have them. So then I was like, well, look, guys, like, I don't know what to do then. Are we going to just throw them away? Like, I got shit to do. I got to get on with it. Service is in 2 hours. It's always comes down to service, right? When you're a chef, like service in 2 hours, stop wasting my time. It's the most important thing on earth. So then, well, they told me, like, well, we're not even allowed. Oh, wait, Sunday Gourmet. This is the best part. So they tell me, well, we can't even dispose of them within Canada. They're not allowed in here. You got to go back to the States to throw them away. And it's a toll bridge in Ogdensburg to go back and forth.
Oh, you paid tolls too.
I had to pay tolls. So I went over the bridge, and eventually I got the guys. I was like, look, this is for my family's dinner. I'm sorry you don't believe me. I'm spinning a tale. And they're like, look, you can keep 1 then. You can keep 1. I spent about 12, just so you know, Sunday Gourmet, I spent about $1,200 on these 4 pieces of meat.
American or Canadian? Canadian, that's only like $7 US.
Yeah, I think I only spent $7 US. I think it was Canadian, if I remember, because I had to do it all with my credit card and that kind of thing. So then I go over the bridge and I tell the guys who are working the toll booth, I was like, look, I know I was just here. They're not going to let me in. I got all these hams. These things are like $300 each. Can you just waive the toll if I give them to you? Because I really don't want to throw them away. So these 2 guys, I gave them 3 friggin' hams. I guess I don't know what they did with the. So then I came back. I had to go in. They fucking took my car apart. Made sure I wasn't like sneaking the extra hams in. I put the ham in the front seat in the seat belt. But then it turned out, I've told this story hundreds of times now because I'm on the books as a ham smuggler. But there was this guy who came into the restaurant all the time at Union, and he worked at the American Embassy, and he's like, next time you need hams, I'll just trade you for lunch. Pay for the ham, buy me lunch. I'll get you all the ham you need. So I just emailed this guy, and he'd order it, and he'd get it whatever he wanted from the States. He'd get it, no problem, and then he'd bring it over to me. So that's my ham smuggling story.
You're not a very good ham smuggler.
No, I'm a failed ham smuggler.
God, you're very bad at that.
I am, yeah.
Those Kurosaki cleavers will be for sale in Europe. Anyway, sorry. Yeah. You're a bad ham smuggler. Do you know what? It's just best not to smuggle things.
It is, and I learned that the hard way. Because now every time I try to leave the country and go into the States, it takes me a little bit longer than the next person. It takes me a little bit longer than it does everyone else.
You also went down there looking like you do to go to a Willie Nelson concert once, didn't you?
No, I didn't look like this back then. I've gotten much rougher around the edges. But yes, I did. Yeah, I had my car torn apart because I wanted to go to Burlington, Vermont to see a Willie Nelson concert. And then when they ask what's your business in the States, say, oh, I'm going to see a concert. And they say, oh, who's playing? Willie Nelson. I'll just get you to pull over there, please. Yeah, that's my life.
My first time coming back from Japan, so the first garage sale, the first Knifewear garage sale, I bought everything in Japan and I actually bought an extra suitcase in Japan. And I had filled an entire suitcase plus all the room in my suitcase that I could. And I had about 90 knives with me and sharpening stones, and there were folding knives and hunting knives, mostly kitchen knives, right?
Yeah.
And I had to connect through LAX.
Okay.
And I got there and I'm tired and I'd been on a really long trip and I'm just like exhausted. My first few trips to Japan were so exhausting. I didn't understand Japan. I didn't speak any language. I didn't know anything. So it's just all day long was like super hard work, right?
Yeah.
And I come back from this trip just shattered. And I get there and the man with the bulletproof vest and the machine gun says, oh, do you have anything to declare? That's because you were away on business. Do you have any business things to declare? And I went, yeah, I got some knives. I should have said kitchen utensils, which is what I do now. So then he took my little customs card and with a red Sharpie wrote corner to corner. He wrote knives as big as the card was in red Sharpie, and then said, "See that man over there with the machine gun and the bulletproof vest? Go talk to him." And I went straight into that TV show at the border. But when I came into there, I realized I'm going to be there for a long time. There's two people work here, two like lanes.
Yeah.
Both have their hands full. One has got this totally wasted, he looks so high, and dreadlocks.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh man, you can't come across a border looking like that and being super high. But they had him on the ground. He was on his knees. And they were putting handcuffs on him when I came in. And the other lady was pretending not to speak any English. And they cut her suitcase apart and they were saying, you said you only have $400 and we have found $25,000 US in your bag. Why are you doing this? So they were waiting for an interpreter to come. And I'm sitting there going, oh my God, I'm never going to make my flight. And I didn't make my flight. They made me unpack all of my knives, open all the boxes, spread it out. It looked like the garage sale at LAX. And then at the end, the guy's just like, why did you say knives, man? And we're looking for like flip blades and butterfly knives and swords and switchblades. I'm like, yeah, they're just kitchen knives. He goes, so you don't have any real knives? I'm like, no, these are real knives.
Yeah. And you're arguing with them why you should be held up then?
Yeah, exactly. At the point, I should have been just saying thank you and packing my knives up. I'm arguing with them. I'm going, fuck you, man. These are real knives. Yeah, so I finally, packed up and made it to the gate. But I was well past. Like, it had been gone for an hour by the time I showed up. But Air Canada flies often, so I got another flight.
Here, I'm gonna do, Kevin. We've kind of fallen behind on a bunch of comments here, so we're gonna do speed round.
Click it. Blank. I think we'll do speed round.
Okay, blank says, I wish I could think of a good question. You know what, blank? You don't need to know all of this nerdy stuff. If you have any question, it doesn't need to be, you don't need to get into the details. If you want to know a little bit of something, just ask. We're not gonna make fun of you, okay? Like no, Kevin will make fun of me and you are safe. So if you do have a question, never hesitate. I'm happy to answer whatever you got on your mind. Everett, Mount Everest is asking us about how we feel about other knife stores popping up all over the place. And you know what? The more people who know about Japanese knives, like not all of you came to us because you've walked into a Knifewear. You know, the more who know about what we do, the better for everybody, you know? I don't know. You can say different if you feel different, Kevin, but I feel like I'm saying what you believe.
You know what? A lot of the knife shops that have popped up recently, they're all a bunch of old chefs, And a lot of them have said, I was just inspired by you, Kevin, because you made. So they obviously press the right buttons and make me feel, like I'm
Make
cool.
you feel.
Do
Yeah.
I look like I'm looking at my picture here today, and you're looking quite tanned and normal, and I am looking very golf.
Well, I've got these lights right on me. Like I'm under the light, like the case lights in the store.
Oh, you look good. See, I look like a ghost, but I've got also we got a ton of snow. So I'm getting all this really reflected light.
Here, Damon's got a question about why are the new Kurosaki Senkos cheaper than his other lines? Is he doing anything differently there, Kevin, that you're aware of?
I have no idea about pricing right now.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
They're probably less expensive because they came in less expensive. What blade, Chris? You have to remind me. What steel is the Senko, and which knives are you trying to compare them to?
So, I think the Senkos are R2, and they had. I think a lot of the cost sometimes when we're looking at a Kurosaki knife falls into So like Kevin, a 210 Senko is $352, made out of R2 with a wah handle on it.
But it's not Damascus, right?
It's not Damascus. No, it's a Tsuchime finish. It kind of looks like, it's like the little, almost like a sparkly Koishi. Like if the Koishi weren't round and they were more like little stars.
Oh.
So
I know the one. Yeah.
So it's just, you know what? It
is what it is.
That stuff is difficult. As like, just look at like each one of those stars. Like if you're looking at like a Sasame, or you're looking at like, if you got the Fujin, there's Damascus in there, plus a whole bunch of little lines. Like each one of those lines is like a time he hit it with a hammer, right? So he's hitting it less. He's making it easier for himself. Spaceman is asking, when's the garage sale? That is going to be the week leading up to the May long weekend in Canada. So I will give you a proper date. It will be starting on Monday the 17th.
But it finishes on the May long weekend.
Yeah. So it'll finish on the 24th. It's an 8-day sale.
Put the questions I ask.
Well, that one was a quick one. That was a fast one. Someone comes into the store who doesn't have any knives, cutting board, or sharpening gear, and they have a max budget of 500 Canadian. How do you outfit them? I'm going to pretend that taxes don't exist when we say that. Well, I'm going to
get it. Oh, sorry. I've got a plan already. But you go.
Okay.
Go.
My plan is a Mugi 210 with a Mugi 135. Blade guards for both. We got a ceramic honing rod in there and a larchwood cutting board, depending on the size.
There you go. I've got nothing to add. Maybe instead of the knives, I do a Tojiro. What's the new line? It's not called Home anymore. It's called
Oboro.
Oboro. Yeah, maybe we go Tojiro Oboro or Tadafusa Hocho Kobo.
Yeah,
but same stuff.
Yeah, because here's the thing that I don't know if everybody knows this, but if you buy 3 knives or 2 knives and a cutting board, there's a little bit of a discount built in there.
Not online. Not with the cutting board. Online. Because the shipping.
Yeah, shipping on cutting boards is terrible. Yeah. But if you live in if you live nearby and you buy stuff in 3s, it'll help you out a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a little secret.
We'll do 3 knives online. 10% off buy 3 knives. But we can't include the cutting boards because the shipping's also on that's just too much money.
Yeah. Spoon Monkey's got a sharpening question. I struggle to get a good edge on my Higo because it's such a small knife. Small blades I do find them a little trickier to sharpen than big knives.
Small blades are more tricky. You can either just practice. That's what I would say. If you're confident making a Scandinavian grind on there, go for it. Yeah. Otherwise, just practice.
Yeah, practice. Shipping swords. You talked about swords quite a bit. You covered all that. Let me keep going.
If anybody wants to buy a sword, let me know. Kevin at knifewear.com. But like we're gonna be talking 12 grand.
Yeah. 12 small 12,000 small Canadian dollars.
I'm only shipping in Canada. I'm not shipping it outside of Canada.
Well, there we go.
So if you are in Canada and you want to buy a sword, let me know. I'll see what we can do. Maybe this one's for sale. I doubt it because I really like it.
Yeah.
You don't know. But it would be like, we'd be looking like 10 to 15 grand for sure for a sword.
Yeah.
But it'll have all the papers. It'll be legit. It'll take 6 to 13 months. But yeah, send me an email, kevin@knifewear.com. But what do they always say in Kijiji? Only serious inquiries.
Only serious inquiries, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to be the guy that goes and drives all the classic Mustangs.
Yeah. Admiral Longstash, we answered this earlier, but I think it's worth mentioning to everyone. He's asking if the cleavers would be available for sale in Europe. Everything on our website is available around the globe. We do all of our international shipping with DHL, so it's usually quite quick. I know.
Sometimes it's 2 days to Europe or 2 days to the United States.
Yeah. So it's usually quite quick. We used to charge a flat rate of $55 to ship worldwide, but now it's live shipping rate, so it's usually not that much. I know when we send like a knife to England, for instance, it's usually in that $35, $40 Canadian mark. So, and it'll let you know if you're shopping on our website from somewhere else, it'll let you know what you can expect to pay in duties and things like that. There are calculators there, so you won't, we're not going to charge you for them, but you should know what to expect down the road. We try to make
change, Chris. That might change in Europe and England. It sounds like we may have to charge them duties and VAT on our end and then pay directly to the government. That's a change that looks like it might be coming in, but it's not here yet.
Okay.
But will I get to buy one? I don't know, Admiral Longstash. You'll have to make sure you're the first person to click buy.
I have to get up early.
Live, yeah.
Mount Everest is asking if I did buckle the seatbelt around the ham. I did. I wanted to keep it safe. And Nathan says we need a ham smuggler t-shirt. I think you are correct. Yeah. Our bud Spoon Monkey says I had
ham smuggler in the world. Do you know, Chris, when you kept saying ham smuggler, I was thinking about the English phrase plum smuggler.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with hams at all.
No. I would like Spoon Monkey 3 to send me an email telling me the best story ever.
Oh, I want to hear the best story ever.
You should send it to me. And then maybe I'll just say, I got an anonymous email, and I'll read it out for you if you're embarrassed.
The best story ever. It involved the departure lounge at Amsterdam Airport.
Yeah. Our bud Nate Haverco, who we were talking to about Santokus and such, just got offered to be on Top Chef Junior. That sounds cool.
That does sound cool.
That sounds cool. You'll have to let us know more about that. That'll be fun to see. I've had some friends do Top Chef. Kevin was on Top Chef Canada in the background.
I did. I was naked.
Yeah, he crashed it. We were doing our pop-up in Toronto. This was the fall of 2019. We were doing a pop-up in Toronto. Megan and I were there. Kevin was there because your book you were in Toronto because the book was nominated for the Canada Eats Award.
Right.
We lost, yeah. But so we're there. We're doing the pop-up. And then it turns out everyone starts like milling around. They come over and they're like, they were filming Top Chef Canada in the same place where we were doing the pop-up, but they weren't allowed to tell anybody ahead of time. So Kevin just wandered off for the day. It was an extra all day. Got to eat all the food they had. And, I just stayed in the box. Well, thank you, Chris. The Voog says the shirt looks good on me. Thank you. I've got the other one here. I'm pretty sure the other one's for Alex, not for you, Kevin.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I can buy my own shirts.
Yeah.
Damn. Who knows? By the end of the week, I might wear medium instead of extra large.
Who knows? Yeah. Extra large works pretty well for me still. Adam is asking if we've ever considered adding a filter to the website for newest arrived products. That's not a bad idea. And that's probably
every day.
yeah. That's probably a good idea and probably not too hard. So
we should remind We should remember to just send Ellie.
I will.
We should just send Ellie a thing.
Okay. So TJ Ronan is saying, what advice would you give for storing and maintaining? I presume he means knives, preserving your lives over long periods of time, not to use. Well, I don't try to throw out too many lies at once, TJ. I try to keep the lies to a minimum.
I like to put them in a backpack with a nice towel.
Yeah. But if what you meant was knives, which I'm sure is what you meant.
Put them in a backpack with a dry towel, not a moist one.
A dry towel. You know, a little bit of blade oil, camellia oil is a really great idea. Rub it into the blade. You can wrap them up in a little bit of newspaper. Kevin taught me a trick years ago. If you can find an old phone book, you can stick your knives in between the pages of the phone book and tape it up and put it away. If you've bought a knife and it came with that little piece of ferro bright paper, don't throw that away. Yeah, if you've got that brown paper, don't throw it away. That does a really good job of keeping the rust away. It's what it's for. But a bit of blade oil and wrapping it up in newspaper is as hard as it has to get. We've got Lev is asking, says new to the stream, thinking of getting a Tajiro Shirogami Gyuto as your first knife ever. Kind of worried about how often I need to wipe and maintain it, but I'm willing.
Don't get a carbon steel blade for your first knife. It'll just be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you know what, especially white carbon's a little prone to staining a little bit faster than what you're used to. If you want to get something, you could get one that's clad in stainless, like a Masakage Yuki or Fujimoto Nishiji. That's going to be a lot easier for you to take care of. But keep in mind, like I had a fella come to the door this morning concerned that his knife was rusting, and it was just a patina settling in. So as you use a carbon steel knife, it will change color, even if you're doing everything perfectly. It's just, now I used carbon steel knives in a professional kitchen for quite some time, and I had no real issue with them. I don't mind kind of taking care of things. Like I say, like a carbon steel knife is perfect if you're the sort of person who likes to take, like if you've got a record collection and you can appreciate listening to vinyl, you like dusting them off and putting them away and all that, then carbon steel is great for you. If you're a little bit worried about it, Lev, I would kind of go with Kevin, and I'd say, you know what, grab if you want something that's going to be like that white carbon steel, you could get a, you know, something like a Kurosaki Sasame made out of cobalt special. You could look at some other powdered steels if you're looking for something a little bit sharper. But if you're telling me that you're the sort of person who likes to maintain things, look at something clad in stainless. It'll be a lot easier. You'll stress out less about it. It's just a little bit of a safer bet. And if you're okay with, because all that'll happen on that is just the edge has the potential of rusting. If you just get the straight carbon steel where it's clad in iron, it'll just be a bigger pain in the ass, and you might stress out a little bit more.
Yeah, so just get a stainless steel knife.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow your mind. A stainless steel knife made from Japan. Blow your mind.
Yeah. Take baby steps. Don't jump straight in, you know.
Stainless one. Blow your mind.
Yeah. There we go. I'm gonna put that back up because we're kind of getting to near the end. We're like 20 to 6. I made it to the end of the questions, and there was a lot of good ones there. That's kind of exciting for Nate being on Top Chef. I didn't know they were doing like a Top Chef Junior. That's kind of cool.
I didn't either. That's really cool. Congrats, Nate.
Yeah, Fred's got a 40th birthday coming up this May.
It's nice to have his birthday when our garage sale is.
Yeah. Spoon Monkey's story seems to be lyrics from the song Piano Man.
Well, that's quite a story.
Yeah, I don't think that's your story. I don't think Spoon Monkey 3 is Billy Joel.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is, though. I don't know.
You don't know, right?
You don't know. You don't know.
You don't know.
Adam Yarbo is asking us Hap 40 thoughts. How do you feel about Hap 40, Kevin?
I've got one. It's ridiculous how long it stays sharp. It's ridiculously hard to sharpen. Like if you aren't pretty confident with sharpening, you would want to make sure you could bring it to us so we could sharpen
Yeah,
it.
you live nearby. I had to thin out. I had to thin out my movement.
It's so hard, man. It's
Yeah.
so hard, and it's so wear resistant. Sharpening, it's a bitch.
Yeah, I had to thin mine out, so I just called it a test and made Sean do it.
You were terrible.
Yeah. And then TJ Ronan is asking if we cherry pie or apple pie. I know what Kevin's answer is. Yeah, there it was. He didn't even let me finish the sentence.
Sorry, Saskatoon berry.
Okay.
Cherry.
You know, I'd eat either, to be honest. If someone's gonna, you know what? I'm not much of one for. I don't have much of a sweet tooth. I like, but my mom has this very close friend named Sue, and Sue always makes me pies for my birthday because I don't like. I would take a pie over. Well, that's. I would eat I'd eat pie over cake 9 times out of 10. So Sue always makes me pies for my birthday. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Somebody's asking about knee-hay knives.
Yeah.
Never had one in my hand.
Do you think maybe he means? Do you think maybe knee-hay is a typo for Gihei?
Maybe.
Maybe, because we know who Gihei-san is.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah. If it is Gihei,
I don't know everybody in Japan. I'm trying.
You're getting there. You're getting there. You know. Well, how's your stomach now, Kevin? Are you looking forward to the rest of your soup?
Yeah, I'm having like I said, ramen deluxe tonight.
Yeah. I think I might hit up the old dollar store and pick up some ramen on the way home. I'm just trying. I got this $1.80 burning a hole in my pocket. You know.
I might eat the rest of my cookies tonight while the hockey game's on, then go up tomorrow and buy another sleeve of cookies for $1 from the dollar store.
Yeah.
Or I might have a can of beans for dinner tonight instead.
Something a little sweet, maybe. Mix it up.
Mixing it up.
Well,
$4 challenge is hard, man.
It is. It's been pretty eye-opening for me. Like
it's been nice. It's been a nice reminder about some of the things I used to do just on the normal to get by.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've lived with very I know. And sorry, I've lived with very low wages, so I it's a good reminder about all this stuff. I know who Nihei is. Nihei is a former apprentice of Yoshikani.
Oh, okay.
Nihei is. Yeah, we don't. We might carry them in the future, but not right now.
Not yet, eh?
Not yet.
No, I know how to read between those lines. Yeah. So for me, like
maybe 5 years.
Gihei's knives are wicked. Damon is just chiming in about Gihei. Yeah.
Gihei's knives are wicked. Yeah. We didn't get it for last garage, so we should get some more Gihei.
Yeah, I think it's just he's quite a bit. He's quite a bit older, isn't he?
Well,
he's not a young. Yeah, and he's known for using really hard steels, right? So he's an old man doing it the real hard way. So, what I was gonna say is kind of you're talking about having, like, kind of leaning back on things the way you used to do it. And my mind has been like, and I'm lucky that because we had a conversation and we've mentioned it a few times, like back when we were cooks, like you just eat at work, right? You just grab a roll or you fill up on pop from the bar or whatever. Like you never really, you were getting your calories.
Oh, yeah.
But I was saying, because I remember like when I first moved in with, well, she's my ex now, but when we first moved in together, we got into an argument about paying for groceries because she had gone and done groceries. And then I was like, what do you want me? Like, and she's like, yeah, I spent like $100 or whatever. Can you pitch in? I was like, no, I don't eat at home. I eat at work. I don't have to eat here. That was a big fight right in the beginning. So
good for you.
Maybe I should have known. maybe that was a tell. I don't know. But the thing that I've been thinking about is like, you know what, like, and there was someone who used to work for me watching over on Instagram earlier, and she sent me an email asking what I thought about this. Like, you know, because Kevin and I, we've got like, and Kevin's being good. He's using like one pot or whatever, and you know, we're trying to take it easy on what we're using as well. But
pot, pan, knife, toaster, kettle, and I haven't used the toaster because I got nothing to put in it.
yeah. So, but like, you know,
when I say knife, hundreds of knives. I'm using whatever I feel like.
Whatever knife you want. Right?
I might cut cabbage tonight with 7 knives, just like one cut for every knife. I don't know.
Who knows?
I might go crazy.
But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that there's more to it than just the food, right? That $24 that this young lady had is everything that's left over after a week. Like that's like I had said, like imagine if I worked in an office and I did have to be clean shaven every day. Well, I couldn't. Imagine if you got a job and you had to go buy a pair of boots and a hard hat just to get work.
Oh my God.
That $24 isn't there, right? Like I didn't like. If we wanted to make this even harder, like that $24 should cover your toiletries too.
Yeah.
Right.
Luckily, and sad that this exists, but luckily there is food banks.
Yeah.
Stuff for people. Like we've even got a local one. It's just a locker on the corner of by the community association in our house here called the community pantry.
Yeah.
And we kind of got out of habit of putting food in there, and so this has been a good reminder of us to, you know, put a little bit of food in there every week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like things like that would be open to you. Like, you know, it's not open for you and I because we're choosing not to.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I guess we could if we wanted to, but then we're taking it away from someone who needs it.
Well, yeah, and well, I'll tell you what. I've also used the food bank in the past here in Calgary, and when you go to the food bank, they ask for your social insurance number. They actually want to check to see what your earnings have been for the last month or two.
Well,
and they ask you some questions about it, and then I say, "Oh, I'm between jobs," I said, and they went, "Does that mean you have a job that's coming up, or is that just a euphemism for you don't have a job?" And I went,
"Oh my,
I don't have a job." So I think if I went there currently, they would say, "Mr. Kent, maybe it's a budgeting issue for you."
Yeah. Well, I guess they got to protect their. They got to make sure people who need it are getting it, right?
Well, that's exactly it, right? They want the right people getting the support.
Yeah. Yeah, but then even just stuff like I was saying like toiletries and whatnot.
But it's also a huge pain in the butt because it would be like 3 hours extra out of your day just to get there and stand in line and get back, right? Like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
On transit for most of the day. It's a pain in the butt.
Here's a good. No, it was just kind of like I just wanted to bring it back around to that, and like we've had a ton of great support from like so many names that I've seen, like Damon, Chris, you know, Derek, who else? Like
people that aren't in Ottawa, people that aren't in Canada.
Yeah, like it's been great. Like it's really like, you know what, if it's I don't know. I'm just really, really appreciative. Like I said, I work really hard with these people, and I try to do what I can to kind of keep to help out with the charity. And you know, you guys are all awesome. We had a guy come in today, an acquaintance of mine bought a knife. He'd asked, you know, phoned ahead, do you have this one, so on and so forth. I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I need to pay cash though. Is that fine? And I was like, yeah, okay. Like we're trying to be careful because of the lockdown and whatnot, right? We're trying to keep it all cashless. But the reason why he wanted to pay cash, Kevin, he was buying a Tatafusa petty for his wife's birthday, gave me $200 and told me to donate the rest. What? That's why he wanted to pay cash.
Wow.
You know?
That's a lot of generosity. And Fred here, who luckily isn't in a shoveling feud with his neighbor, has said, I might contribute. What's the link? So can you throw the link up there again, Chef?
Yeah.
Chef?
Whoa.
First time I've ever called you Chef.
Oh, I don't know if I liked it.
I'm convinced that I'm not getting enough calories, and hence I'm losing weight, but also I'm having fuzzy brain.
Yeah. So I put it up on the screen. I put it up on the screen there, Fred, and that'll bring you to the main page. So you can, if you wanted to donate under me or Kevin or just to the generic fund, you're there. Whatever works for you. And then I put it in the chat so you could actually copy and paste it, because I don't think you could. I don't think you can actually grab it out of the video. But then we've got Lev is asking. Lev is new to what we're up to. Wondering, do we have a good recommendation for a Japanese gyuto under 80 US? What's 80 US turn into?
I don't know. Let's see. 80 US. It's about 100, 110.
You know what? Tojiro DP is probably is going to be the best bang for buck in that bracket, I think. If you wanted to squeak a little bit more, if you could, like maybe you skip coffee for a week and you want to get a few extra bucks, look at the Haruyuki, the Mugis, and the Gomas. Those are going to be a great.
I'm going to just look here. I'm on their website right now. I'm checking it out.
You mean our website?
Their website. My brain's fuzzy, man. I'm not
you
getting
mean like
food.
You mean America's website? Whose website?
The website of Knife Shapes of America.
Knife Shapes of America.
The Knife Shapes of America website.
Yeah. Well, here we go. I put US dollars. I'm going to look too here. See who can find it faster. Well, there we go. 79 to 158 American. I found a filter. I just don't know how to make it work.
Just press results or something.
Yeah. Oh, go.
How did I get a Kamikata?
Who knows? Yeah, it looks like, you know what, a lot of Tojiro stuff. The Haruyuki Mugi is close. The Oboro, the Tojiro Oboro is close.
Right in there, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a knife that I quite like, the Go Yoshihiro Molybdenum Vanadium Western Gyuto is 124 Canadian, so that's going to be in the same zone too. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. So, I don't know. Do you got anything else before we? Oh yeah, you were asking about the Shirogami Gyuto, Lev. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we have any of the Shirogami ones in stock right now. But if you were looking at the garage sale when it comes up, I did see an email.
Listen, get a Tojiro DP.
Yeah.
It's the Tojiro DP is the biggest bang for the buck always, right? It's just one of those knives. It's gonna stay long or sharp longer or just as long as the one you're looking at, and there's no issues. It's the same handle, and there's no issues for rusting. Just go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're fun. They're a great knife. I like them. I know. Well, we had a fellow working here leading up to Christmas, Mike Stortz. He swore by them. He went back to work in a restaurant, in a kitchen, but he swears by them. Great knife. So, oh, good. Kink in my back. Well, I don't know if we've got. I don't know. You got anything else you want to say, Kevin, or should we wrap it up?
Apparently, next Tuesday we're doing swords.
Yeah,
that's coming up. We've got some new knives in the shop. I'm just going to show you the Sakai Rule again.
Oh, yeah.
It's a white oak handle, right? With this carbon steel blade with a really high shinogi. So this is a really high shinogi here. This knife cuts like a laser. And
that'll be fun. I'd like to see
steel clad with iron. And I love how it's ground. I love the mirror polish on the spine here, and on the choil. And I love how high it's been ground. This is something Nauta worked with them on to make the knife really cut like crazy. That's exciting. I like that.
I've got a question about that knife, Kevin.
Okay.
I noticed that the handle is all one piece. It doesn't seem to be a collar. Is there a reason for that?
It's a bit of a modern look. There was for a while there was a lot of blacksmiths or makers working with different woods to make one-piece handles, and I was seeing them coming apart or the handle getting loose because the collar on the handle collar actually adds structure to the handle. But I find with the oak is a really good way, or the paca wood that you would find on the Kobayashi SG2 knives.
Yeah.
That are also one piece. Those are both an excellent product for one piece construction, but you find some of the less robust woods are used for one piece construction sometimes, and I'm not a fan because the handles get loose over time and quickly, like more quickly than they should. But oak is good. I like the oak, and I like the paca wood for that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm excited to get that knife in my hand. They look awesome. I know all the stores are supposed to get a couple of each, so
that's this knife here. They're asking what is that again? It's the Sakai Ul Sumi, S-U-M-I.
S-U-M-I.
So there we go.
There we go. I popped it up in the chat there.
Yeah, they've just arrived to the warehouse. They've not shipped out to the shops yet. They will be, like they're en route. I think Calgary. There's a good chance that Calgary has them in.
Yeah. We've got. We did have a question there from Damon asking what type of geometry do we prefer? Convex, hollow, flat. The S.
It depends who made it. And
yeah.
Is. I think there's pros and cons to all of them, and it depends. It depends what it is. So I don't have a favorite. I have a favorite for certain makers or certain steels. Michelle Cote is asking if it's on the website. It should be on the website. Yeah. The Sakai Ul knife should be on the website. That's Sakai O-U-L.
Oh yeah, they're there. They actually come up as O-U-L Sakai.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually, I found a Ginsan knife. I might not be looking at the right thing.
If they're not on the website yet, they will be very shortly. I'm surprised they're not, but I think Nathan's waiting until they can actually launch them on the website. So I think he's waiting for all the shops to get them, and then he can send out an email and then.
Yeah. Oh no, they're there. They're there.
Are they? Because sometimes when we launch a new line, they all get sold out before they get sent out.
Yeah. No, they're on the website.
Anyway, those are cool. I'm excited by these. This is a while. This is Naoto and I working on these for close to a year now. And I like how they came out a lot.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see that.
I like it so much that I took two. I took the Kobanka and the 240 Gyuto. I have got both of them now in my kitchen. So when bought two knives from a new line? That's been a long time.
Yeah.
That's been a long time.
Yeah.
No, the Kokuto last year I got two knives.
Yeah, you got a 240 and an Akiri, I think.
Oh God, you got a good memory. Yeah, that's exactly what I got.
Yeah.
So it's not usual for me to pop and just get two, but I really like both those lines a lot. So I just got two of them. Because because and because I don't have a tanker yet. I want a tank, but I can't get one because they always sells them before I get them. Well, we've got someone over on Instagram named the Mountain Chef, and they're saying, "Hey, Kevin," and they got. I bet he's my English buddy that works at a helicopter skiing lodge. Oh yeah, well he's got a buddy who, if you are watching, Enrique, hello. Your buddy, the Mountain Chef, has asked us to say hi to you. Oh. It's kind of like happy birthdays on the. It's kind of like happy birthdays on the radio. Remember, you used to do that. You know, you call in and be like, "Hey, can you wish happy birthday to my mom?" No one listens to the radio anymore, I don't think. Chris, Lord, can you wish happy birthday to my aunt? Happy birthday, Kevin's aunt. She's turning 3013. 3013. In 2021. So yeah, Edgar says that's the one he couldn't order last Thursday. Maybe that was the problem, Edgar. Maybe because they weren't up. You should try again and see if it works. If it might have been a glitch. Might have been. I don't know. Yeah, give it because Edgar, I believe, is in the Netherlands. He said. So give it a go again. If it doesn't work, shoot an email over to hello@knifewear.com, and someone much smarter than me will help you. The Netherlands. Yeah. They like bicycles there.
They do.
I
They
like
do.
bicycles.
They make good
Hey,
cast iron pots too. Those convex pots are from.
yeah, I make bread in those. I like those. Do you know what else they like in the Netherlands? Weed.
What?
And it's legal.
Like dandelions?
Legal here, yeah. Yeah, and the marijuana one too. Also legal here in Canada.
It is legal in Canada.
I hear they put them in chocolate bars called Marv bars.
They put them in the Marv bars, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? So here's something I've learned.
And
Maybe
black
this is what we're
licorice.
going on.
These are a lot of things I like, you know?
Yeah. The oh, he's got it fixed. The problem has been fixed.
Perfect.
Awesome. Here's the thing I learned about the gummies, the Marv bar gummies, is if there's 4 of them in a package, you should only eat 2. And if there's 2 of them in the package, you should only eat 1. Otherwise,
your wife tells you to go to bed early?
otherwise, the reruns of the X-Files you've been watching are far funnier than you remember them being. So just keep that in mind. The X-Files turns out not a comedy. Not a comedy. But
listen,
sometimes
Edgar's asked what bicycle do I ride? And Edgar, I have to be honest, I have a few.
ask him, Edgar, that depends on the day of the week, my friend.
Edgar, I've got a Fuji single speed in the Ottawa store. Chris can show you that one. That's my Ottawa bike. It's a Fuji single speed right there. Makes good sense, right? Japanese bike and a single speed. So that's kind of fun. I've got, for most of my travel, I've got a Brompton, a folding Brompton made in England. I've got, for my trekking bike, for my long distance ride, I have a German bike called Tout-Terrain, or Tout-Terrain, as the guy at the bike store helped me call it. Tout-Terrain. And that's like a little trekking bike that's indestructible. It's not light and fast, but it's the never break bike. And I have a cargo bike too for carrying big things. And that one's from Denmark. And it's called a Larry versus Harry, or it's possibly Harry versus Larry. I don't know. I don't remember the name. Anyway, what kind of bike do you ride, Edgar? Blank said he started getting paranoid from weed. Oh.
I've heard that's a thing too.
Well, don't do that.
In Inglewood Flyer.
I also have a totally cheap giant hybrid that the brakes don't work. It doesn't shift right, but it's the fastest bike I own. It's so fun.
Well, Mountain Chef says he's got a scoop. Well, it was nice for me to meet you. Kevin already knows you, and hopefully Enrique watched. But I'll keep that in mind.
Danielle, I gotta Google this bike. Oh man.
Well, Gregory Smith's first Japanese knife was a Global, and bought it in 2005, 10 days after buying the whole beast. Those go together.
That's a good book, I hear.
Yeah.
I used to work at that restaurant, actually. Chris, I don't know if you know that.
I did know that. That's part of the Kevin Kent trivia.
Oh, it's a Swedish bike, but it looks like such an Amsterdam bike. That one that I love it.
And you know what, Fred?
I love it.
Fred beat me to the punch, but our buddy Fred in Pennsylvania, just donated to both of us.
What? Fred? You're a good man.
So you're a good man, Fred. And he wrote a really nice note, and I'm going to embarrass him.
Yeah, and a racing bike, a Bianchi. Oh, that's a quick bike. Blank says, I have a mountain bike too, a Bergamot mountain bike. I don't have a mountain bike, Edgar. I think I should get one. Oh, no, that's not true. I do. It's garbage. It used to be my winter bike, but now my Tout-Terrain is my winter bike because it's got a sealed drivetrain. Blank has raised a good point. In 3 hours, there's going to be a live from Vancouver sharpening class with Owen and Franny.
Yeah, I like to call him Franny Banani. He
Franny
doesn't like it. He doesn't like it, but he also won't tell you to stop.
Oh, well, he's very polite, and you're very mean. You're a bad man.
I'm a bad man. No.
Yeah.
That's why I try to spend all this time with all my do-gooding, is so I can tease Francis, and all the karma evens out.
I would like to point out, Chris, that Edgar has now mentioned 4 bikes that he has. So all your shit and abuse to me for having some bikes, 7, is just you being a jerk. Because it's normal to have that many bikes.
It's normal to have that many bikes.
It's normal. Standard normal operating procedures.
Yep.
Chris, how's your brain working?
It's dead.
Peugeot as well. Let's get an old Peugeot as well. Edgar, let's go. Let's get together and eat licorice and ride bikes and talk knives. That sounds like super fun. I like this Edgar guy. He makes sense.
Yeah, you guys are. I'm left behind. I have a bike. I bought it at Canadian Tire. It's not very good.
How many motorcycles do you have?
I have one that runs.
How much is a free not working motorcycle? How much does that cost you?
So far, $400. So far, it's
so you
$400.
got 3 motorcycles, correct?
Yeah.
One that works.
One that works.
And a free one that's cost you $400 so far.
2 free ones that cost me $400 so far. So I had to buy a new battery, but it runs. It runs, but it's not in one piece. Like, it doesn't have a seat. It doesn't even have brakes. I rode it around my parents' yard. And yesterday, I don't know why I got this in my head. I started fiddling around with my motorcycle that does run. And I don't know why. I bought like a bunch of little, I bought like new like signal lights and stuff for it. I thought I would switch it out. So then I took one screw out last night just to see how hard it would be to change the signal lights. Taking that one screw out cost me 2 hours just to be able to put that one screw back in.
You're pretty handy, hey?
No, not at all. So what I've got, I spent all that time because I like took one screw out and then a nut fell inside of something. So I had to take another bolt off to get in, and then a nut fell off inside of that. So at one point I had the whole headlight disassembled just to fucking put this one screw back on. And then I thought I'd give myself an easy win, and I bought new handlebar grips for it. And so I took one grip off and went to go put the other one on, and it got stuck. So now I think I gotta, like, I can't get it off. Now I think I gotta go buy another set of new grips. I pooched it every step of the way. I made them I got the headlight put back together, and then I just walked away. So
the grips, when you want to get them off, stick like a skewer. They're like rubber, right? And just shoot some WD-40 in there. Yeah.
Well, that's how they recommended to put them on too, and I skipped that. I got WD-40. I got skewers.
WD-40 in and slide them on, because WD-40 evaporates and then it sticks.
Yeah. That's the plan. So that's what I know to do now. I should have remembered. I should have read the instructions closely. Is what I should have done.
YouTube's great for those things too.
Yeah, that's where I found the answers after I already fucked it all up.
Yeah, but you could do it first.
I will have to do it in reverse. So
you could just first watch YouTube and then break it, because I've done that.
Yeah. I think me breaking it was going to happen regardless, but then I wouldn't feel as dumb about having. I'm like, well, at least I tried to follow instructions, you know. So,
Chris, listen, for Edgar, who might be half interested, I'm looking at another cargo bike, because I've got a big cargo bike, but maybe I need a medium-sized cargo bike. So I'm looking at one out of Sweden called a Ginkgo.
Is this the one you've been sending me pictures of?
Yeah, I love it.
Where the guy had all the chopped up wood underneath it?
Yeah, that bike's going to be mine. I just have to get around to getting that bike sent from Sweden to me. I got to figure out what color I want. Usually I just like black bikes, but I'm told that I'm boring.
You should get, I don't know.
I was thinking going like really dark gray.
Like almost black. Like if it's dark outside. If it's dark outside, it's a black bike. But if it's sunny, it's a dark gray bike. All right.
Pale black, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe white. I don't have a white bike because I got a red cargo bike, right? And all my other bikes are black.
Well, your Japanese bike here, this Fuji bike's got white forks.
It's got white forks. Yeah, it's black with white forks.
That's nice.
And my folding Brompton is slime green. It's terrible. Yeah. But it's the only color I could get on short notice.
Alex said that, because Alex has ridden that bike.
I love that bike, man. It's so much fun. It is so much fun.
Alex said it goes faster because of the white forks. So
he's not wrong. He's smart. Alex.
Yeah. You've got to be a particular height to be comfortable on that bike. And my 6'1" is not enough.
That is a big frame.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to put the seat down if I'm going to sit on it.
Yeah, that is a big frame bike.
That's my go get the pop-up vehicle, the go get the pop-up van vehicle. I ride the bike to the rental place. And then I've done that a couple times.
I love that bike. It's because Ottawa's great because there's no hills, right? Like that bike in Calgary is a bit of a bitch because I live at the top of a steep hill. But you know. I get it up. I got to get that bike back because I'm going to only ride my. I'm only going to ride my Brompton when I go to Ottawa from now on because I can bring it and I can ride it right from the airport, which is brilliant.
Yeah. Alex has got it on his list to get that bike sent back to you, so it'll happen.
Talk to
Jose. Yeah. Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna pull the plug. I'm gonna pull the plug.
This went off the rails before it started today. God.
Yeah, no, we didn't talk about our first Japanese knives. Well, you did, I didn't. But we got a lot of people chimed in. You know what? I like hearing what you guys have to say as much. Like, I don't need to talk the whole time. You know, it's hard for me not to, but.
Blake says he or she or they ripped their pants on their bike. And I always ride in jeans. I like riding in jeans. So wear jeans. I'm not going to. In the summer, I'll wear shorts, but in the winter, I'll wear jeans. Oh, well.
I don't know. You roll up your pant leg or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
I do that. Well, they wear it at the crotch because they're sitting on the bike. But I've got a lady down the street that, like, I take her to this one shop and she puts a patch in there and re-bulletproofs them. It's great.
Nice.
I know. Well, crotch.
Here, I'm gonna machine gun off the points for everybody because we're talking about holes in jeans and bicycles. There's nothing about knives.
It's gone off the rails.
So Kevin, Alex, and myself are doing the Operation Come Home $24 challenge. A lot of you have been very generous and made donations. If you haven't and you would like to, we've put the link up a couple times in the chat. You can find it on our website under our blogs or on our social media. If you can't, if you can't make a donation but you'd still like to help, kind of sharing the information is just as valuable. And thanks to everybody who's already chipped in. We talked a little about the garage sale that's going to come up in May. It's a couple months away, but it's worth talking about now. We do have the fragrance sale going on at Kent of Inglewood right now. All the fragrances are 15% off.
Even Speak 88, the best fragrance in the world.
See, I like the Check and Speak Oxford and Cambridge.
Oh, the lavender. That's great too.
I never considered lavender to be a fragrance for a man until it was actually you. I was in Calgary for the first time and Kevin snuck up behind me and said, "Hey, Lord, close your mouth." And when I turned around, he sprayed me with cologne, but it worked out pretty well. Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
Some guy named Javon Johai says he or she, they picked up a scent yesterday.
Uber Hype is asking if there's any samples. Yep, you are able to. There's a section on the Kent. So Kent of Inglewood has its own website, kentofinglewood.com. You can arrange to get samples if you need them shipped to your house. You can do that. If you're near any of the stores, you can stop by and we'll set you up. And
I believe right on the front page now, when you go to kentofinglewood.com, there's a button right at the front that says request a sample.
Okay, well, there we go. So easy stuff, Uber hype.
Javon Johai, got myself a person of interest beyond the pines. Best smelling dude in Vancouver. Well, that's good, Javon Johai.
Kevin, have you seen this funny picture of us that Mason did?
I thought it really captured our likenesses.
Yeah. Yeah, look how serious we are.
Well, we're very serious.
Yeah,
and skinny.
So skinny. Maybe if we keep this up for another week, who knows? Fred, good question. We can't ship cologne across the border.
Oh, right, because it's going to explode. It's made out of booze.
Yeah, they get real mad when you try.
Yeah, your country won't allow it. I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah. Next month, so the fragrance sale goes from, well, it started on the 1st and it goes right to Valentine's Day. I think it actually ends on the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day. And then we've got our March in Kent of Inglewood is the razor sale. So
straight razors.
Yep, straight razors are 15% off.
And this year it's also safety razors.
Safety razors, yep. And shavettes
this year.
So 50. Well, Tifal Goron, that's a pretty good name because that's a Legend of Zelda thing. Gorons, I like that. But we don't have like an actual like lane in the store. But Kent of Inglewood is only they're always next door to Knifewears or very, very close. And what you would grab is a Hoxton shavette and you pop your razor blades in that. And that works really, really well.
Yeah, and then it closes up too, so you don't cut yourself.
Yeah, you don't.
I've been known to just use an elastic band and a straw or a chopstick.
Yeah.
I've been to play that game myself.
Yeah, so that could be a good option. What else we got? We got Operation Come Home. We're going to be back at this on Saturday. Yep, we got Sharpening Night in Canada with Owen and Francis. Saturday, we got another video going on similar to this one. And then I think it's me and Nathan again.
Oh, I'm not. Cool.
I don't know. I can't remember. It's written down. It's written down. Nathan tells me where to be and what to do when I get there. I'm sure everyone looks at me and says that's a guy who's in charge and he knows what's going on, but in reality, I'm not.
Nobody says that.
No, I'm very much a performing Knifewear monkey. They just point me in the direction. They say, this is the first sentence you're supposed to say.
And then take a bite out of the raw onion.
Yeah, take a bite of the raw onion. Hit yourself on the head with pumpkin. Tell embarrassing stories about yourself. Just start talking. You got 2 hours, bud. That's what they say. So,
my buddy Graham, a tool shed, brought me some beers and a new hat.
Nice.
And he brought me barbecue. You know, he won the Jack. He won best in show at the Jack Daniels Invitational barbecue thing.
That's a big deal.
That's totally big deal. And he's now doing through Tool Shed. You can order his barbecue from Notorious PIG. Because he's put his smokers at the back of the brewery now, and he's doing smoke.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Rack of ribs and beer, and it'll drop at your door. And then a hat arrived as well.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was nice of him. Thanks, Graham.
Yeah. So. And
Tuesday looks like we're gonna open this box and look at a sword.
Yeah, Tuesday we're gonna look at the sword. I'm gonna have to do some homework.
Sword? So that's good.
I'm gonna ask my buddy Jacques about swords. He knows stuff about swords.
Well, good, because I don't know much. I just kind of bought it on a whim.
Yeah.
I bought it because somebody wanted to buy one, and then they didn't like the price, which is the price I told them was going to be anyway.
It's funny how that happens.
I didn't like the price, and I thought, well, that's a weird thing. And then I accidentally didn't sell it, and I just accidentally kept it.
What's Nalton? Nalton know lots about swords? Does Nalton know much about swords?
No.
I'm just wondering, maybe there's someone around, one of our colleagues, we could like make them join us for a little bit.
Maybe Siobhan Johai. which his name is, by the way, Jeevan Johal. Jeevan, maybe
Yeah.
Jeevan knows something about swords. He's like a guy that would know something about it. But Francis does.
I'll ask around. I'll ask around. See if anyone wants to hang out with us for a bit, talk about the sword.
That'd be cool. That'd be good.
Yeah. Cool.
Sounds like Samurai Fingers knew something about swords.
Who knows something about swords?
Samurai Fingers sounds like they knew something about swords.
Oh yeah, well maybe they can help us too. Jeevan, you know what? Now that you said you don't know anything about
Jeevan says he knows everything about swords, so it's perfect.
yeah, Jeevan's in. It's good. You'll fit right in, Jeevan. Oh, there you go. You don't know anything about what we want to talk about, but you know lots about something that we don't. So you're perfect.
He knows lots about drums. Do you know who's drumming? He because he used to tell me about what was the drummer for Moxie Fergus? He really liked that guy.
Oh my God, Kevin! I should have hit the end button before you said that.
I didn't say
Holy moly!
Anyway, yeah.
Everyone, so Alex is looking at me like, what did Kevin say? Like they don't know, like it really wasn't that big a deal. Yeah, but he was real scared that it was.
He's like, oh.
Oh no. But we need to say goodbye now. It's time to go home. Kevin threw off his hat. I'm gonna hit the end button. So thanks for all of you crazy people who hung out with us. All right, we'll talk to you on Saturday. Bye for now.